All right, man, we are back. Episode 121, the Tim Duncan episode +1. We are here. Nelson in the building. Morning. We'll get to him in a second. To my immediate left, of course, co-creator, co-founder, co-owner, co-sponsor, chef, all-time quarterback, rapper, singer, songwriter. We are back.
Yeah. What's happening? What's happening? The show about nothing, man. It's an honor to be in the building every week. Boy, this is one of the hardest pods I've ever had to do in my life. I'm exhausted.
Yeah. Been a long rock week, boy.
Listen, I'm a work from home guy. I'm blessed. I'm highly favored in that. I know that's a blessing. I don't want to take that for granted.
That's a fact.
My company had an offsite where I had to go in the office. I have never felt like this in my life, bro. I just woke up like an hour and a half ago. Like I felt like a zombie.
Yeah, no, it's crazy. Like niggas get up and go to their job every day.
Bro, I'm like, dog.
Fuck y'all niggas.
I'm like, respect to the gang, cause goodness gracious. And gang, I had a half day today, and it felt like I had a full day. I left that bitch at 1 o'clock.
That's a vacation for Nelson.
Yeah, bro. What? I did that when we went to the Kendrick concert. Like I was like, this is a good day. What are you talking about?
Nelson to take a half day.
I'm so tired, bro. I'm spoiled. I know I sound privileged to a lot of y'all. I'm sorry, but goodness gracious, I'm tired. But I'm very excited to be here, bro. The finals is tomorrow. I don't know if y'all know that. But the finals is tomorrow.
Yeah, that's crazy.
We got a Lil Wayne album coming out tomorrow.
Yep.
We got Pusha T coming out. Pusha T and the Clips coming out in a month. Yeah. I'm very, very excited for this month. I still don't think that Young Thug album is coming out this month. I don't think the Gunna album is coming out this month.
He said June 37th. So I don't know what he meant by that.
I know what he meant.
Niggas like, yo, he changed his name to Scuddy because this is the scientific reason with the sun and shit. So maybe he knows something about days we don't know. Like,
do we know what that means?
It's something about like the biggest boss son or some shit.
I didn't even know how to say it. I've never said it out loud. I still haven't.
I'm not saying that. Some things I just don't agree with.
But that Thug album.
But I love
the
him.
Thug album.
That's what it's called.
The Thug album. But man, I'm excited. Y'all know what we got to get into. Y'all know what we got to do. Nelson is in the building. It's just the greatest. I'm the coldest. And we are the show about nothing. Please like, subscribe, and comment. And as always, the women of Atlanta.
Facts.
We love you. All right. Let's start with work. All right.
Facts.
We try to start this story light so the women stay around for a little bit before we start talking all the hoops.
But this is where we get the most likes right here.
Going back to the work trips, I got a question, bro. Yeah. What is it about I gave some people the podcast at the offsite, so I'm hoping they don't click on this episode. But if they do, salute.
So shout out to you for listening.
We appreciate y'all, though.
Shout out. I probably shouldn't have said. Let me take that out. But anyway, at the office, it's very funny to watch the contrast of like the black experience of I know I can't trust these people.
Yeah.
And then the white people that be like, I'm getting fucked up tonight.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, God, bro.
They don't give a fuck.
I'm so glad you mentioned
My
that.
nigga.
The office environment, because like a couple years ago, for those that I don't do this no more, so I'm happy to share it on here. I used to like work in insurance. I used to work at All-Star State Farm. So when I worked at State Farm, so for the people who don't know, like all the State Farms you see, like somebody specific owns that. Like they kind of just like franchise them off plays.
I'm gonna just open the State Farm type.
Exactly.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah, like
so each one kind of got their own office environment and rules. And I was working at the one in Dunwoody. Listen, fam. The difference between the guy I was working for had 2 offices, right? Each office had 1 black guy. But I didn't know this because
DEI.
Yeah, literally. So I didn't know that's what he's. So I didn't know he had like who was in the other office. Like I was just working in mine. So at the end of the week they do like a bar. Like everybody go to the bar, hang out and shit.
Type shit.
So I skipped it the first 4 weeks. Like I'm not
Smart man. Smart. Yeah.
And then the guy put me to the side. He was like, "Why not? You're not joining any team building activities? What are you talking about?" He's like, "When we go to the bar." I was like, "Oh, I thought that was like some extracurricular." So I was like, "You know what? I'm gonna go, fam." I walk in. Of course, I'm a little late because I went to medicate before I went to this bar. Had to shower, get the smell off me, and they got this long table at the bar. And as soon as I opened the door, the black guy looked at me, and I looked at him. I was like, "Are you?" He said.
That shit seemed like a scene out of Community.
Yo, like he looked at me like, finally. Oh my God. Finally. Bro, I will never forget. I talked to him at this bar for like 45 minutes, bro. After everybody left, I got in my car, called my mom, was like, I gotta stop working. He said, it's one of us every couple months. I said, so one of us gotta go? One of us leaves?
Is this the Hunger Games? What in the world?
It's either me or you.
Y'all gotta kill each other.
Like, why are you so excited? That office.
The last two didn't make it.
That nigga was probably miserable.
Bro,
going to the bar every week, he was probably sick as fuck.
And we worked on Ashford Dunwoody like that,
Yeah,
bro.
yeah,
They've been
yeah.
doing construction on for
100 years.
Bro, I literally, I used to have to drive out. Like, so that's what made me so mad. Like,
That's where I was.
I gotta drive an hour and a half home. No, I don't want to stop and have drinks with y'all. I
Yeah,
don't.
right.
I gotta get in my
You
car.
get enough of my time out.
Yo,
At the end of the day.
yeah,
For sure.
so nah.
It is very interesting just to contrast because them, and don't get me wrong, I actually love the people I work with. Like, they're amazing. And it's one of them people, if we did have to go into the office every day, I wouldn't even mind it because they the cool white people.
Yeah.
Like, genuinely cool.
Right.
Absolutely a good time. Like them, and it's a lot of women, and they just a good time. You can tell they kids getting older, they getting out the house, they getting back into their vibe, and they be having a
This is what
good
they saying
time.
now. They getting that spark back.
You feel me? You feel me? You feel me?
Not the lingo.
But it was just, it's so funny. Like it. One of my homegirls was telling me, and this when I say homegirls, I mean my 55-year-old homegirl was telling me how she live in Ohio and she a bigger stoner than we are. Like I mean, she was like, I love shrooms. She was like, me and my husband, we go to concerts and we microdose, and I make shroom tea. She was like, I'll send you some. Like she going crazy. 55-year-old white lady,
That's
like
fire.
going crazy, and it's just so
why?
interesting. Like because if I ain't tell nobody I do nothing like that.
Yeah.
I don't
no.
drink. I don't do nothing like that. I might grab a glass of wine just to look like I'm not like the whole exactly.
yeah.
So. I won't talk about nothing like that, obviously. She just talking, ain't looked around to see who's behind her.
Telling
Yeah, I be high as fuck.
Yeah.
Like,
I'm out right now.
She was like, yeah, I got edibles on me. Like, nigga, what? Like,
Bro,
but it is truly, truly hilarious.
they live with no fear, bro. It just goes
It
to
is
show
being
throughout
white
life,
crazy,
like they know they good. It don't matter, like
Bro,
we good,
like,
bro.
yeah,
Like that security is something that's the word. It's like the security they feel, which leads to the audacity they have, is truly impactful.
That's what I want. Listen, this might be a Patreon topic, but we need to introduce new words into the zeitgeist. Like, yeah, white privilege is one thing. White security.
Yeah.
Hello.
That is the new one.
Hello.
Like,
Hello.
it was like, why do they feel like they can say that? White security. Like, what's gonna happen?
Precisely.
What's gonna happen?
Like,
to her?
he was, because we was going through the small groups and whatnot, and the dude, one of the managers was on the phone like, yeah, usually people can't get away with using the F-bomb on the phone, but this guy can, like, pointed to one of the account managers. I was like, you're saying fuck on the like corporate call to close deals? Like these are people closing deals, bringing money into the company, and he on the phone cussing customers out. Like, yeah, bro, this shit is fucked up. Like, what?
Nah,
like,
crazy.
what do you mean, bro? I put him. Hey, if y'all see how I'm talking right now, and y'all really see when I get to talking how my accent come out, the Atlanta in me come out, nigga, I'll be on the phone. Hi, this is Daniel Hardiman.
Oh God, though.
Thanks. Have a great day. Take it easy.
That is 1,000%.
And you cussing on the phone?
You start
nah,
saying
bro.
shit you never say in your day-to-day life. Like, that sounds fantastic. This shit just seemed natural. Nah, bro.
Nah, the work. Listen, the work. Have y'all seen Sorry to Bother You?
Yes.
Bro, the work white
Keith
voice
Stanfield,
is, bro,
man.
that shit is so funny,
Nah,
bro,
it's
because
hilarious.
like you don't even realize you be like you ever catch this stuff?
Yes. Like really hear yourself
Bro,
doing
we
that?
had to fuck, I don't want to say it, but we had the
I'll
Super
take it,
Bowl.
I'll take it.
Yeah, please cut it out. We had the office for the Super Bowl. Yeah. I forget what I'm talking to I'm talking to like three like older white ladies.
Yeah.
Like, they work in different departments, but for the Super Bowl we all, like coalesce, come together. And I forget what I was like, oh boy. And I was like, wait. We finished the whole conversation. I sat down, I was like, was that me?
Oh boy.
I never said that shit in my life. Like,
His tone say that.
I was in the motherfucking lying, bro. Like, just lying is so funny because one of my old managers was like, yeah, bro, you can come up to Tennessee and come to a University of Tennessee game with me. And I was like,
I'm in
right
there.
on.
I'm in there. Bro,
Right on.
we be in there just cap, bro.
Hey, listen, some white phrases do go, though. I ain't
They
gonna
do.
lie.
No, they snap with some shit.
Listen, get a load of this guy. Classic.
They be snapping, bro.
I'm telling you.
Oh, man. But yeah, shout out to my company. I won't say the name again, but shout out to my company. Shout out to all my dogs.
Shout out to the cool whites.
Yeah, for sure.
Fact, shout out to work retreats.
Yeah.
But so if you guys did not catch up on the last episode, it came out pretty fast. That is no one's fault. We just be busy. But the episode before that, Nelson and Key was on. Shout out to Key and
Shout
go
out to
look
Key.
at the
Shout out
episode. Go subscribe to her channel. But obviously, Nelson is a Knicks fan. You can't tell today because he high and he put on the Pacers color. He put on the Pacers color and acting like I ain't noticed.
Nah, that's a fact.
Acting like I ain't noticed. He didn't even put on the Eagles color. He could at least came in here rep something.
Nah, he for sure put that yellow on. That's crazy.
But
I'm trying to heal. Bro.
But I do want to ask before we jump into the finals, how do you, and don't mention Thibs yet, but how do you feel about the end of the Knicks season after you've had a few days to sit on it?
I think all in totality, now that I can look at it all together, listen, I saw something on Twitter where folks was talking about, like, you could really tell the difference between the people who are just watching the Knicks in the playoffs and the people who watch the Knicks all year. Mm-hmm. And I think that that's extremely accurate. Because me, as someone who had watched the Knicks all year, going into the playoffs, I had absolutely zero confidence. Like, I told y'all what it was. I told you.
I remember that.
Yes, bro. I was
that.
like, bro, if we beat the Pistons, cool. I'm not going to say we're going to beat the Pistons.
Right.
We'll go to the Boston, we're getting swept. I had no confidence in being Boston. Then after being Boston, everything changed, the outlook changed, so on and so forth. So I really think now, like, after watching the product throughout the year, the fact that they even made it to the ECF and even pushed it to 6, like, is commendable. And the fact that overall, this is their first time going in 25 years. Like, they did something that hasn't been done in so long, in my lifetime. Right. So it's like, all in totality, like, salute to them, good season. And we also have to realize, like, it's been a couple years, so we're starting to get used to it. But, like, bro, the Knicks have been ass our entire lives.
Nice. Yeah.
Like, they finally have a culture of, like, oh, wow, like, we're actually kind of contending. Like, we have expectations. Like, the playoffs is the floor now. You know what I'm saying? Like, that was never the case. Like, literally, like, we might win 30 games was the thing before.
The Knicks used to be a cool road game.
Yeah.
Bro, you feel me?
Like, the Knicks used to be like, oh, shit, LeBron melt. Like, they better go play in New York. Like, okay, bad.
Bro, literally. So all of that, to think about that in totality, salute to them. And, you said we're not going to get to Thibs yet. So, the future is the future, and there is endless world of opportunity. All in all, I think after beating Boston, I still think that they underachieved, and there was very much an opportunity on the table to beat Indy, but Indy was the better team at the end of the day. So you can't hang your head on it too much. It is what it is.
Especially since I let it rest for a little bit, and Key's here in spirit, so I'm sorry, but I realized, and in hindsight, because this is how the NBA playoffs work. Unfortunately, Tyrese Halliburton, Jalen Brunson were fighting over a superstar chain, and unfortunately, Jalen Brunson did not win the fight for the superstar.
We're giving Tyrese superstar?
If they win a championship, like,
are we still under the... Okay, maybe. If they win a championship, I'll give it to
that's
you.
the thing, right
now... Are we
now,
still under the same vein that there's like 7 superstars? Are we still...
Yes.
I am, and Tyrese Halliburton is not one of them.
He's not, but if they win the championship, I mean, like...
Do you agree? Do you think he gets the chain if they...
Absolutely not.
Okay.
If they beat OKC, I'll be a Pacers fan. But seriously, like, this playoff run all time would be like one of the weirdest playoffs ever.
The weirdest.
For sure.
Like, one of the weirdest playoffs ever, bro.
For sure.
Weirdest.
Especially with how good OKC looks. Is one thing if, like, even though we love Minnesota, even with how good Minnesota looked, if the Pacers would have beat Minnesota, it would have been one thing. Yeah. OKC looks like one of the best teams ever.
Yeah, for sure.
Like,
You're right.
Literally.
You're right. To the Knicks, if I am a Knicks fan, how long ago was that game? No, it's been a few days.
Yeah.
Saturday.
Yeah, Saturday.
Damn, it's only Saturday?
What's today? I
Wednesday.
hope it's Friday.
5 days.
I'll be honest, man. If I'm a Knicks fan, after the 3 days has passed, I'm very satisfied with this season. And Knicks fans should be very happy with everything that transpired, bro. You beat the defending champions, something no one picked you to do except for people in New York, and not even Nelson.
Literally.
Queens flip.
You really saw that you had a borderline superstar and that he can get you damn near to the mountaintop.
Yep.
And you found some hidden pieces in between there, and you found a guy that shows he has a clutch gene in Mikal Bridges. Right. You realize OG can play a full season. You realize you can get the best version of Cat for most of the playoffs. It's a lot of things to build off of this. And I asked Nelson to stay off of Thibs because that's exactly where I was going to push the conversation after they wrapped up was I think they make the right moves letting go of Thibs.
1,000%.
I am one of those guys that think some coaches are stepping stones.
Right.
And that's okay. Some coaches are excellent culture builders.
Mark Jackson and Steve Kerr.
Exactly. Yep. That's the best example. Yep. And Thibs is an excellent culture builder because if you got some young guys or some guys that just have come from losing ways, he's going to teach you how to play winning basketball. Right. And he's going to teach you how to play hard every single night and how to be prepared every single night. And that is something that the next coach that comes into New York won't have to establish because that's the way of life over there now. Right. But Thibs isn't the X and O's genius that you need to be to get far in the playoffs and to get to the ultimate goal. Now, I know he's got to the conference finals, and so that is pretty far in the playoffs. But to win that championship, you have to be an X and O master, or you have to have somebody on your bench that is your voice for that. And he doesn't have that, and it doesn't seem like he was willing to change his ways. Ish and I came in here last episode and spoke about what they should do, and I said, they're not firing Thibs just because of the success he's had the past 2 years. I did not think it was on the table.
I wanted it.
This showed me that the Knicks are dead serious. The Knicks see what they have, and they're dead serious, and they're like, yo, we essentially lost the same way 2 years in a row because you're too stubborn. And we can't keep doing the same shit. Definition of insanity.
Exactly.
That being said, the Knicks are in a perfect spot of, all right, we find the right coach, and I got three options. Mike Malone, Jason Kidd are the first two NBA coaches. But Jay Wright from Villanova might be a sneaky pick. I don't know if you can pull him away from Villanova. They gave that boy whatever he wanted. And, you know, when coaches get comfortable, your life get built somewhere. I don't know if you really want to move.
And he got liberties other coaches don't have.
You feel me?
It's a hard sell. It's hard.
But Philly is down the street from New York. Like, it ain't like he really moving too far. Right. He can essentially stay where he at and just kind of get an apartment somewhere and make the commute.
They will definitely get him an apartment.
Exactly. Exactly.
We'll get that shit for you.
So those are my three options. And then I want to pitch something to you that I said last week and see if you agree on as the offensive perspective. But how did you feel about the coach and Thibs getting fired?
Yeah, for sure. I agree with everything you said. I think wiping out salute to Thibs. Thank you for your service, everything to get here, for sure. You did something that hasn't been done in New York in ages. With that being said, I think wiping the slate clean with Thibs is literally like wiping the slate with that whole era of what the Knicks were. Like, I feel like the first step was getting rid of Randall, getting rid of R.J. Barrett and them, and Thibs was the last piece. And all of them, like, they helped get you to that point of like, hey, we're a first-round team. Hey, we're a second-round team. Now this is the era. Like, now Jalen Brunson's fully acclimated. Like, this is his team. He has his other all-star teammate. We are a championship contending team every year, and we need the coach that's going to align with that. So, I think Thibs was too stubborn in his ways. I think we need someone that's going to be able to get the most out of young players, develop young players. Because as we see now, especially like in the second apron league, man, it's not a star-stacked. You know, you need your superstar, and you need all-star teammate, and you need a bunch of guys that could just go and do it. You know what I'm saying? Just do your job. And that's just the way that the league is going now. You need a deep team. You need to be able to play 10 deep. And that's literally just the complete opposite of what Thibs was. And, you know, I do wish they could have moved him up into like a front office kind of role at least to still kind of have that culture in the building because the people do love him, you know. I'm not in that building. I don't know what it is that he does, but
they love him.
They love him, bro. And, you know.
And he don't got nothing but basketball, so.
Literally, like, he's not doing nothing else.
He would have took the shit.
No bad hoes with Tom Thibodeau. But when I first saw, I thought of two things. First, of course, I thought of what Daniel said on the show last week. Go get that if you haven't. But Daniel was like, basically have an intervention with Thibs, sit him down, like, yo, we can't do this. My first thought was, but that intervention went really bad.
Literally.
Like, they did the exit interview. They was like, hey, Tom, next year we want you to try some shit. And he tweaked out. Like, started screaming. Like,
The fuck do you think you talking to?
like, he started raging, started throwing papers. Like, and then the second other option I had, well, it's really three options. It's crazy because we both had three options. But my second one was like, kind of what you were saying. I kind of paid attention to the Knicks all year just because their starting lineup was so good. I thought they could win the championship. But they were so disappointing all season.
Literally.
All season they were bad against all good teams.
Yes.
Every single one of them.
Yes.
So I feel like the writing was kind of on the wall. Like,
100%.
win the championship or don't come back, Thibs.
Yes.
And the last one was, listen, y'all just don't know where he playing next year, kid. So if Giannis think maybe if you hire Mike Malone, I'd like to play for Mike Malone in New York, Thibs, you got to go. Like, just in case. So I think it was a lot of, we really won't know until we get a couple months, but I wasn't mad at him getting fired. One, because he killed Derrick Rose. So, like, he had been on borrowed time for, like, a decade. Anyway.
Sure.
Niggas can feel how they want about Thibs. We could not let him do that to Jalen Brunson. We could not let that happen to Jalen Brunson.
For sure.
You not running Jalen Brunson knees into the ground.
And we got close a couple times.
Bro,
Times
like,
my boy went down, I'm like, oh.
Them ankle injuries, he was on the ground for a minute.
Yeah.
Like,
And Nelson said the key point at the beginning was you can tell who's watched the Knicks all year versus who just watched them in the playoffs.
Yeah.
And a lot of people overreacting to this firing have just watched the Knicks in the playoffs. Yeah. And they think that is a reflection of who the Knicks have been all season, and they haven't. Like you said, they have been very disappointing against all the good teams, and that was the story of the playoffs when we came in for the Knicks was they're going to lose because they ain't beat nobody good this year.
literally.
Exactly.
And they were down 20, like, every game.
Literally.
Exactly. And the way they were winning just wasn't sustainable.
Hell yeah.
And then secondly, if they got to the finals, OKC was going to sweep them.
100%.
They might have beat him in 3 games.
You feel me? Like they might have just called the fourth.
They might have called 2 games off.
Forfeit. Yeah, for sure.
So they made the right decision. That is exactly what they. That's exactly what they did.
I'd like to also throw my name in the hat for the next Knicks coach.
Me too.
Yo.
Hey, please.
I get that shit right.
You feel me?
I believe it.
I'm taking Dale idea. We put Jalen Brunson in the low post running the triangle.
So exactly what I was about to go to, Nelson. Last week, I got to thinking, I got in my coaching bag, and I was like, yo, what do the Knicks need to do to keep this offense in motion and to stop having these dry spells and making it look like everything is so hard? And you know how I love Kobe, you know how I love Lakers and Mike and all of that. And I was like, they need to throw in a version of the triangle. It don't got to be the 2008 Lakers, 1993 Bulls version of the triangle, but something of that sort to keep the offense in motion. And I said that because obviously Jalen Brunson is an amazing isolation scorer, but a 6'1" guy isolating and running high pick and roll for 38 minutes is never going to win a championship in no type of NBA.
You can't do it by yourself. You got to get other guys buckets.
Literally.
Everyone was cold as fuck.
And the easiest way to get other guys buckets is a offense where everybody is consistently touching the ball because in the triangle offense, like the Warriors offense, it generates buckets for you. Like the Spurs motion offense, like the 7-second offense in Phoenix and Indiana. And Phoenix of 2008 was Steve Nash, 2007 and all of that. That's what I'm talking about. But I was saying that the Knicks need to get Brunson in the mid-range, mid-post, and let the offense work through there, and then use him and Brunson him and Cat similar to how Kobe and Paul was used, and let the offense go off of that. Because the reason when the Warriors were the Warriors, they were always at the top of the league in bench points. The reason they were always at the top of the league in bench points was because their offense generated buckets for them. They didn't have to come in and watch Landry Shamet go high pick and roll with Mitchell Robinson.
Yeah.
Like, what are we doing? This is the playoffs, dog. This isn't. That is a win for the Pacers.
Yeah, no, listen, Landry Shamet was trying his fucking best, dude.
DeLon,
he was trying so fucking hard.
Fuck Landry because he made 3 threes in a row when the shit was already down by 20. I was like, but when I was dying for a bucket when we were down 11, that shit was brilliant.
Where were you when we needed you?
Bro, I was coughing up blood. I was in Indy, by the way.
Listen,
I don't know if y'all know. I was in Indy.
Yeah, you being in Indy is crazy.
Yeah.
But I do want to introduce this new rule we have to the show. And I forgot. We should have had this rule a couple years ago. But anybody who let KD down on one of them Nets teams, not rocking with you. Landry Shamet, What was the nigga name with 3 names? The French nigga?
Dorian Finney. Oh no.
Timothy, whatever y'all TLC, whatever y'all was calling that nigga.
Yeah.
Ass. Joe Harris.
Joe
Ass.
Harris.
Any of them niggas who let KD down, I'll never believe in the playoffs.
That's fair.
Yeah, but what do you feel about the idea of just implementing, and not necessarily the triangle, but a motion offense, something to make the Knicks generate easy buckets in the playoffs?
I'm 100% with it. I mean, I really think that we have guys that can get buckets, and like, you know, me being a fan, like passionate, I'm cursing Mikhail's name when he's taking these terrible faders and shit, and the OG bricking shit up. But in reality, like, you're not gonna see the ball go in until you see the ball go in.
Right. Yeah.
They're getting no opportunities, and like, I truly think that they were just not put in positions to succeed. And well, they're literally bucket getters. We saw when Brunson got hurt, OG was literally averaging like almost 30 for like a month.
Right.
You know, like the capability is there, and I just think that in addition to still getting some more bench pieces, I still think the roster is a little thin after we gave away Devo and stuff. But even still, I think that just instilling some kind of motion offense where everyone is touching the ball, everyone has the opportunity to see the shit go in, and you know, we're not just saying 11 go get us 40 every night. You know, it'll be much more feasible for us for sure.
I agree.
Yeah.
All right, let's jump into the NBA finals.
Right.
The NBA. Actually, no. One more thing on the Knicks.
I do have the next question too.
I saw this proposed. Shout out to Nick Wright. KD for Cat straight up. Are you interested?
I'm interested only because, and it sucks because I really feel like Cat balled for us, and you know, Jersey native, you know, all this stuff. But KD is KD. We have to get. There's a lot. Only reason I'm interested is because there's a lot of bigs in free agency, and I think that if we can get like a Steven Adams or like a Bobby Portis, we need depth at the big regardless. Even if we kept Cat, we still do. Yeah. So losing him, I think would be. Obviously, KD's like an instant 30 regardless, so no matter what, I'm taking it regardless. But we have to get, no matter what, we need bigs that we could throw in there. But I'm okay with that trade.
It's crazy you brought that up because that was my next question was a lot of us before the tip stuff came out. You saw a lot of Cat stuff, a lot of people cutting up clips of people being mad at him playing bad defense.
He was the scapegoat, yeah, for sure.
1,000%. Do you think the Knicks can win with both Jalen Brunson and Cat playing bad defense?
I do, because even still, great question. Even still, we were 2 games away from the finals with them playing terrible.
That's a fact.
Literally still. And with no motion offense whatsoever. Yeah. We did it having to play down from 20. Like,
every single game.
Y'all realize, like, just all of this shit going wrong, we were still too, like, I literally just feel like just with a few minor tweaks, like, they're there. Like, they really are right.
You are literally a historic collapse in game 1 from being up 3-2 in that series and fourth. Yeah. That series was going 7. I said it from the beginning. That series was going 7, and they were hitting an historic collapse from forcing that in 7. And a game 7 MSG with the way Jalen Brunson closes and the way Cat was hooping in that series, I think they win that. So, like you said, they were right there despite all of that. And in spite of Thibs as well, with the lack of X and O's and lack of offense. So with all of that surfacing as it did, I absolutely think they can win with that formula.
Let me throw another name, because you threw KD name out there. Kawhi for Cat, straight up.
No. I love Kawhi. I love Kawhi. And you know, it sucks. Fuck Zaza Pachulia. You know what I'm saying? Nothing was the same.
For sure.
The window is small in this league, and I just can't have a postseason where you're not there.
That's
I
fair.
can't.
That's
and anyone can get hurt. It's so lame to say. I don't even like saying that shit.
No,
anyone can
it's
get hurt.
real though. It's real.
But it's literally just like it's a return on investment. And it's just like
the best ability.
If I'm putting all my chips in your basket, I need you to be there. You know what I'm saying?
That's a fact.
Now, I like that we brought up KD. Kawhi was interesting. What do we think about Greek? I personally say it's a kind of situation like with KD to the Suns. I think you have to deplete your entire team to get Greek. And I like, as much as I would love Greek on the team, obviously Cat will be part of that. I literally, like I was saying before, like I feel like you have to play 9-10 deep to win. Yeah. You know, I don't think it would be possible.
I think
if we got Greek.
I think superstar
I'd have to see
trades.
the package.
Yeah, exactly. I think the trades and especially in the NBA are so weird because leverage in the NBA is so weird. KD really didn't have much leverage leaving Brooklyn, so like Brooklyn was determined whoever they trade him to, we gotta get all this stuff. If Giannis is like, yo, trade me or I'm gonna leave anyway, then you can really pull out the New York knife, really take everything you want from Milwaukee, like get him a couple pieces, keep it moving. But if Milwaukee's intense on bleeding your roster, I wouldn't do it.
Exactly. Okay, so the funny thing is, the way this NBA is shaking out with we're building teams now. I don't think Milwaukee has a leverage anymore because I don't think you're going to be able to call any team and get that much for them.
Exactly.
You're going to be able to get 3 draft picks, maybe 4 if we throw in the second because second rounders don't matter. So 3 first rounders in the second, and you're going to be able to get one starter and 1 bench player. That is what you're going to get for Giannis. All of these 5 first-round picks, the 3 superstars and 1 superstar and 3 role players going back, it's not happening anymore because people see what it takes to build a team. So the teams that are in contention to trade for Giannis are contenders.
Right.
You're a couple pieces away, so why would I give my 3rd, 4th, and 5th option away to get 1 main option, but now I don't have a bench or I don't have role players, so I have to rebuild a team again.
Yeah.
Exactly.
The Spurs are in that situation. The Knicks are in that situation. The Heat are in that situation. And
I've heard the Warriors name brought up too.
I doubt it because of Jimmy, and I don't think they want to trade Jimmy, but if they can get Jimmy and Kuminga straight up, that's different.
Well, you got to remember they were going to trade Jimmy for KD straight up, and KD said no.
True.
Because that was the original 3-team trade. Was Jimmy was going to go to the Warriors, and then he was going to go to the Suns. And then KD was going to go to the Warriors. But I think exactly what you said is right. And the thing with the Knicks is interesting is you just paid 5 first-round picks for Mikal Bridges.
That I was just thinking about.
So your Bucks offer gotta be players.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like the Spurs, like we're picking up the phone. We got the number 2 pick. We got a number 14 pick. We got our first next year. We got the Hawks first next year. Yeah. We got the Clippers first in a couple years. Like we have picks that we can just scramble around and try to build it up. And you got to match salaries. But if you're the Knicks, that's OG Anunoby or that's Karl-Anthony Towns or it's a player who's already contributing on your team.
Yeah.
So it's really like you kind of said, the Suns. It's like hey, we traded for Giannis. And we traded 4 to 5, 10 rotation niggas.
Exactly. But Giannis is very interesting. KD is very interesting. And they say they want to move KD before the draft, which is at the end of June.
Oh, he's a Spur.
I believe KD is going to either end up in San Antonio or New York. I think those are the only 2 options. I think it'll be San Antonio or New York. I really don't see anywhere else for him.
I think KD, I'm trying to think. I think I can see him in a couple more places. I think I can see him in Minnesota.
Oh, I'm so sorry. They
have been talking about Minnesota.
Minnesota is definitely one.
I
can see Minnesota in there, and you're going to love this. I'm so glad you just brought up Minnesota. I know you probably saw me tweet this already, but go get Lonzo Ball, Minnesota.
ASAP,
Lonzo Ball.
That'll put you in
I
the
was
finals.
actually on the phone with my dad the other day, and
nice.
we was talking about, because he loved Anthony Edwards. And so we was talking about what they need to do, and we both obviously was talking about the point guard. My dad loved point guards just like me. That's where I get that from. So we was both like, they need a point guard. And he was like, who can they go get? And he brought up Suggs from Orlando, but I was like, they paid him already, and they're not going to be able to afford him. And then I was like, who can they go? And I was like, Lonzo Ball. And I screamed, and he was like, yes. And then I saw it on Twitter the other day. I was like, if they can go get Lonzo Ball and KD, they are winning the championship.
Lonzo Ball puts you in the finals. Hey, like the defense they would be able to play. Like I am a giant Lonzo Ball fan.
Playmaking. Yeah, hell yeah.
I'm a huge Lonzo fan. Yeah. On a side note, I'm also a huge LaMelo fan. Please, LaMelo, get out of there.
Oh,
bro.
my God.
Please, LaMelo, get out of there, my nigga.
LaMelo,
please get out of there, my nigga, bro. Like, do whatever you got to do to get out of there, bro.
For sure. But, yeah, KD to the Knicks, I'm championing it. Yeah. And I would trade KD for Cat straight up simply because you're going to get more offensive production and more impactful offensive production. I always tell you that it is different types of scores in the NBA. Right. Like, Ben Mathurin, however you pronounce his name, Mathurin on Indiana, he might go get 18. But that 18 he get don't feel like Tyrese Halliburton's 18.
It's ugly.
Because it's a different type of impact with certain scores. And KD's impact on scoring and when those buckets will come and how those buckets will come will drastically change the New York offense, even if they don't change anything, which they obviously will with the new coach.
Exactly.
But him and Brunson next to each other, having two isolation players that are that good at the end of the game and in the playoffs is going to be extremely hard to stop. And I completely agree with you. The only way you make this move with KD is if you know you're getting another big. Mitchell Robinson plus another backup big. Because you can't have KD playing the 5 at 37.
Yeah. No.
I will say this. And shout out to Roby, because I know Roby is like screaming at his TV, hoping we're going to say it. I think KD a better defender than Cat.
I was going to say that too.
I think KD a better rim protector than Cat,
And you don't have to think that. He is.
He is.
Both of those.
1,000%
and rim protector. No question.
I think he upgrades them top to bottom. And aside from just all the X's and O's on-court stuff, I still don't know if Cat can be your second best player on the championship team mentally.
I'm with
Exactly.
that.
Aside from just his skill set, the little mistakes, the mental lapses, the fouls, like, and we always said this about Steph, the Warriors, and the little guys running around. Even the Spurs. When I was like a young Spurs fan, like Tony Parker was an amazing defender, but if you're always paying attention and you're always in the right place and you're doing what you're supposed to do, you'll play good defense. Yeah. The problem is the mental lapses that you have on defense. Some people that just can't be coached out of.
Exactly.
Literally.
And it feels like Cat, like we're older now. Cat is a veteran in the NBA.
Bro, Cat's a
10 years old. Cat is 10 years in, bro. Like, if you're still having these mistakes,
your habits are your habits at this point.
Exactly. 100%. In the Eastern Conference Finals,
yeah,
you are that person.
Completely agree. I'm glad you brought up that defensive point. He levels them up in every way possible. Yep. And lastly, just the aura of it.
Crazy
bro.
aura.
Like,
Crazy.
He was supposed to be in New York like 8 years ago.
That's a fact.
KD closing out his career in the Garden, having to be like, yo, my fault. But I should have chose y'all the first time. Yeah. But I'm here now, and I got y'all. We get into this final, we going to win. KD bring the championship to New York. Yeah. He's top 10 solidified. Yeah, listen. I know a lot of people like to play with his name and having the 16, 15. Yeah. He's top 10 solidified. He go to New York and win a championship next year. That's KD.
1,000%. Listen, Giannis may go west. Tatum don't have an Achilles. That might be easy Knicks ring. Like, that might be easy Knicks work. Like,
come on, man. Come on. All right. But I will say, I want him in Minnesota. If I could handpick, it's Minnesota. Him and Julius Randle straight up get Lonzo for their championship.
My pick, definitely San Antonio.
Of course.
Yes, of course.
Definitely San Antonio.
Poor Jules if he gets dealt again.
All right. Let's move on to the big dog in the building. The NBA Finals, or as I like to call them, the Paul George could have been. But we have two young teams. Yeah. On the OKC side, we have potentially the best player in the NBA, the MVP, the scoring leader, and just cool as the ocean breeze. We have the youngest NBA team ever to step foot in the finals. My basketball history starts in the 80s. I don't care anything about that before then, so that Portland Trailblazers in the 70s, I don't care about. But we have a young coach on the OKC side. We have a veteran coach, Rick Carlisle, on the Indiana side. We have a very pesty, fast-paced defense that gets all up in your grill versus a 7-second offense that is ready to run and gun all day. We have an excellent point guard matchup. We have a big man matchup with Chet and Miles Turner. And we have a wing matchup in Pascal Siakam versus J-Dub. Yeah. Styles make fights. These are the perfect styles to get this finals to get a finals without a big-name superstar, a real nice viewership, because when the game 1 might not go well, game 2 might not go well, but game 3, game 4, game 5, 6, 7, that viewership will start to go up because these games are going to be phenomenal. I expect no blowouts, and I expect a very fast-paced, fun series with excellent shot making. Okay. What I want to start with is on the Indiana side, their offense is fast, it's fast-paced. Their defense is very pesty, gets a lot of steals, and gets out on the break. Yeah. What is OKC keys to slowing down Indiana? Give me 2.
Ball pressure, rim pressure. And that's offense and defense. The Knicks, especially because they're playing, everyone on the court 45 minutes, it's hard to really press. But when you saw them do it, they had little success in spurts, slowing him down. And you have to pressure the rim a lot versus Indiana to slow them down. Yeah. You have to make them guard. You have to make them defend. And when you're on defense, you need to be on offense like OKC always is.
Yeah, I would say let Shea go off and make everyone else beat you. We've seen a lot of J-Dub stinkers, some Chet stinkers.
Shout out J-Dub.
Shout out. Some folks didn't show up, and those were the games that the Thunder struggled with and that they lost. You know, Shea's gonna do what he does. You got to make these younger players see if they can rise to the moment. Yeah. And also, honestly, it's something that they did against us. That I don't think that they get enough credit for because all they talk about is the offensive aspect with Indy. Their defense, especially that last game against us, was insane.
Yeah.
Insane.
Like, I was there in person seeing it. Literally, they're inbounding it, and Nembhard is in Jalen Brunson's grill.
Yeah.
I haven't even took my first step towards getting to the other court. Like, that shit was insane. Now,
Nembhard played amazing defense that game.
Amazing defense, bro. So, like, I think that's really where they're coming along when they're hitting their stride. So I really think just like pressuring the ball carriers, forcing them into mistakes. We had so many bad turnovers just because of the way that they pressured the ball. I think that those are like huge keys. I really think honestly like Thunder has had a historically great defense, but I don't think it's crazy if they match up to their level in this finals.
I agree.
I'm not gonna lie.
To slow down Indiana and that offense, you have to get pressure in the backcourt. It's simple as that. Caruso, Dort, every other and Case and Wallace. Every other possession, one of them needs to be in the front court on Tyrese. And that leads me to my second point. You got to make shots. I know it sounds simple, but that slows a fast-paced offense down. It's shooting over 50% in this game because now you're not getting the ball off the rim. You're having to catch it. Sometimes you're having to give it to the ref and all of that, and that gives you time for Lou Dort to find his guy. That gives time for Alex Caruso to find his guy and be able to make that full-court pressure. When you catch it off the rebound and let Tyrese catch it, he gone.
Literally.
There's nothing you can do about that. You let Siakam catch it and he get a couple dribbles and push it up to Tyrese, who pushes up to Naismith. It's nothing you can do about that. So those two things, you got to knock down shots, shoot over 50%, and you have to pressure the ball in the backcourt.
Yeah.
To the OKC side, how are you looking to slow down specifically SGA and then the rest of that defense? How do you combat that pesky defense?
So from like if I'm Indiana trying to attack OKC's defense, you got to make Chet play big, and not help side coming to block shots. No, Miles Turner, you need to be the bigger, stronger, more physical, dominant offensive big because you're gonna have to crash offensive glass. Period. That's all it is. They're gonna rotate. They're gonna swing. The OKC moves a lot on defense, so you can offensive rebound.
Yeah,
and that is where you're gonna get those missing points from them being one of the best defenses ever.
Yeah.
If they are able to control the glass, play great defense, and control the pace of the game, you're just not gonna win. You have to crash the offensive glass and make Chet box out every play another big. Make him every play deal with you inside, whether it's driving, whether it's throwing it into Miles Turner, letting him post up like he used to. You need to work inside out from OKC because the perimeter is just too good.
Agreed.
Yeah. I think that it's just like how we saw in the Eastern Conference Finals, I think Siakam is the X factor. Shout out to Siakam with the ECF MVP, by the way, as well. Well deserved. I think that, like you said, him and Miles Turner, that's really kind of the area that you can expose because, you know, you're going to get what you get out of the guards. You're going to get what you get out of the wings. I think that the bigs are really going to kind of dictate the pace, especially the rebounding, how we're going to push the ball in the break, so on and so forth. I think that's going to kind of dictate how the series goes, for sure. Yeah.
So to slow down their defense, you have to play your style. Like, the Indiana's, that's why I like this matchup so much, is because the style that Indiana plays is what is supposed to stop a defense like that. So it is going to be, in the first quarter, who can set their tone the first and continue that tone throughout the game. Will it be OKC and the ball pressure all up in your grill, or will it be Indiana and the up and down? Because whoever gets to set the tone usually gets to set the ref's tone as well. Yeah. And that's going to be very important for OKC because with this fast-paced offense, it's a lot of catch and go, and that can easily lead to easy touch fouls, a lot of blocking fouls, and that has to relieve your pressure, and now that brings you back from an all-time defense to just a really good defense, and now y'all are even. Yeah. So you're going to have to continue to play that fast pace that you're doing right now. And lastly, on the defensive side of the ball, you have to close possessions with one rebound. You can't allow second chance shots because first off, they got snipers everywhere on that team, and they love the offensive rebound that leads to a three, or offensive rebound that leads to Shea driving and kicking, like you just said. So you have to close these possessions with run, rebound, and get up the floor, because when they do miss, that's to your advantage. Not only because a possession came up empty, because that gets you into your fast break, and that should get you running up and down the court like you want to. So those will be my 2 keys for Indiana, bro. You got to keep your pace at that 7-second offense and close the possessions with 1 rebound.
I do have one more, and I think we can all agree with this because no one said this, but I feel like we all agree with it. You can't get tweaked out about the fouls.
Yes.
Oh, easily.
Yes.
You have to stay locked in, bro.
Yes, bro.
When Shea gets to doing that Shea shit, and I'm on the Shea side right now, so not we're not gonna get to it.
We
But
what you say.
we know it's gonna be a couple of them in the finals.
Yeah.
Yes.
When you get to doing that shit, you can't tweak out. You can't get mad. You can't throw the ball at him like Ant did. I thought that shit was hilarious. But you gotta stay locked in because it'll snowball and you'll start doing it more and more to the point you saw Jaden McDaniels just push that nigga. Just fuck it. Just
He said, I just wanted to do it.
I just wanted to really foul him.
Yeah.
I just wanted to really foul him. Like, that's hilarious. Like, you gotta stay focused because, like you mentioned, on the other side, you know, it helps your offense if you're getting fouls.
Yeah.
But it hurts your offense so much if you are continuously fouling SGA because now the ball is dead. We're at the free throw line. Everybody catching their breath. Make or miss on these free throws. Everybody's going to get back.
Yep.
Everybody's up for the pressure. So it takes away what you want to do most because the ball is dead after a free throw. So definitely stay within the lines, hands up defense, or whatever they call. Just keep moving. Just keep moving.
And Indiana, it's important for y'all to take a hint from Minnesota, and you cannot have your defenders guarding SGA at half court.
Yeah.
I don't have a problem if you want them in the backcourt. Like Naismith was in Brunson Grill in the backcourt.
Yeah.
That's fine. But get in this grill, make it tough on them, 2 dribbles, and then sprint back to the 3-point line and set up. Because why I say that, audience, is because really great scorers, the higher you're able to set that pick and roll for them, the more room they have to operate.
Space, yeah.
Right.
And with Shea having the handle he does and the ability to get to his space, his spot whenever he wants to, you setting that pick and roll at 28 feet because you're guarding him at 28 feet, and him getting you at your hip that far away from him, getting the defender on his hip that far away from the goal, it's curtains. It's curtains with that. And I always speak about this with Luka. Once you get on Luka's hip, the possession is dead.
It's over.
And it's getting like that with Shea, because even though if you're able to get back into the playoffs, on Shea, he's playing off your balance now. I don't care who you are, unless you're LeBron, but I don't care who you are. If you're on somebody's hip and you do the work to get back square on them, you're off balance for a split second.
Right.
And that's all he needs to hit the other cross and get back to the left.
His game.
And or get back, do the cross and get back to the right. And get to the middle, get to the little turn and fade. So I say start your defense at a little bit below the free throw line, because now that pick and roll is coming, and now I'm trying to draw this court for the audience. So if you do the pick and roll at the 3-point line, right, and Shea has the ball, Neesmith is guarding him, and IH sets the pick, and then you have Miles Turner hedge. When Shea comes off that pick and roll, that defender that's in that corner, so in this case, let's call it Obi Toppin, now it's easier for him to slide over and help because his distance to get back to recover for the 3-point shot is shorter, versus if you extend that, he's at 29 feet, 31 feet, setting that pick and roll, and now Shea is already downhill. So when Obi comes over, Shea is in rhythm, and he's able to create a better angle towards the goal.
Right.
And that leaves more space for the 3-point. And that works on opposite sides of the court, and that works for a skip pass, because if you set the pick to the opposite side and Miles Isaiah Hartenstein rolls, then the guy on the corner has to slide down for that roll if Miles Turner hedges too hard, which allows a skip pass. And that pass is easier if the court is spread out. Yeah. So you have to keep the court compact for SGA, and agree with Nelson, which was one of his first points, was let SGA kill. If SGA averaged 36 on 48% shooting in this finals, that's cool if J-Dub is at 18 on 43% shooting. And Chet is at 14 on 42% shooting. You're probably going to win that series.
Yeah.
100%.
I like that.
I love what you said about the fouls, and I think it speaks to a very interesting overarching point that we didn't even really touch on, is like neither of these teams have been here before.
Yeah.
Yep.
And a mark of a good team, like you said, that's not crying about fouls and so on and so forth is your poise.
Right.
Yep.
Which of these two teams, these young teams that have never been here, is going to be more poised?
Right.
And I think it's also interesting with the matchup, the coaching matchup between Dagnall and Carlisle.
Yep.
Carlisle, a coach that's been here before, that's done it before.
Yeah.
Who's going to get their team more prepared? Like,
Yeah.
we all agree that OKC is probably the better team on paper, the team that should win.
Yeah.
But does the coaching matchup of Carlisle with more experience, who's
Right.
done it with vets, for a lot longer? Dagnall's a coach of the year. We're going to give him his props, I'm saying? But experience is the best teacher.
Yeah.
And I wonder if the advantage that Carlisle has on that aspect makes the matchup closer.
Yeah,
Does this game go 6? Does the series go 6?
Because the Pacers do have championship experience. Pascal Siakam, champion.
Right.
He's been here. He understands what these series are like. He understands being an underdog in a playoff series and it not going the way people expect. But Carlisle, Siakam, Miles Turner's a vet. I do feel like the experience for Indiana favors them.
100%.
And I think what Daniel said is right. It's all about who's going to set the tone.
Yeah.
All about who's going to set the tone.
Yeah.
So, in this playoffs, SGA has been at 29-6-5. He's been unstoppable. And I don't think you're going to be able to stop him. You don't have the defenders to do that. And some guys are just unguardable. Kobe, Steph, Bron, KD. Some guys you're just not going to be able to stop.
It's okay.
And that's okay. Yeah. But can you force them to shoot 10 for 28?
Right.
Can you force him to shoot 11 for 30? If he gets 30 because he got 8 or 9 free throws and he got the 11 buckets, that's fine. But can you make him a volume shooter instead of an efficient shooter? Yeah. And if you can do that, you will cause their offense to somewhat collapse on themselves. Because one thing I noticed about OKC throughout this playoffs is their defense is their offense.
Right.
Yeah. Like it said earlier, their defense is their offense. It's not like they have some prolific system. They don't run a triangle. They don't run no motion offense or anything like that. Their offense, their defense is their offense, and they love to get out on the break, similar to Indiana. They love to get out on the break. They love for those to just get you out of sorts. So even if they get out on the break and set up their offense, they're going to get into their offense so fast you might not have the matchups where you want to. They got the advantage on one side of the court. They're going to skip past it real quick and get downhill. So I also want to say, like it said with Chet, you have to make Chet feel you all game. Chet's a small big. Yeah. If you make Chet feel you, you're going to get to game 5 and 6, and he ain't gonna go as hard for them rebounds. Nope. He ain't gonna want to step in and block all them shots if you make him feel you all series. And then last thing, like Nelson just said, the poise. Which coach is going to have them more prepared for the lights of the finals? Yeah. For the spectacle, for the aura of the finals, that passion you're gonna feel. Because both of these crowds are top of the line, ridiculous. It's gonna feel like a college North Carolina Duke game in 2007. Like it's going to be ridiculous. Yeah, so pressure. Which coach is able to keep their guys poised the most? Yeah. I think that is going to be Carlisle, which is why originally I said when this first happened, I was like, all right, OKC in 5. Yeah. Because of Carlisle and because of how that Indiana offense plays, I think this might be a 7-game series.
I think I'm with you. Okay. I think so too. I love what you said about the crowds thing. One thing I could say. While I was in Indy, I could say I'm as a Knicks fan, but as an objective basketball fan, that's like probably the loudest crowd I've ever been a part of, like sports wise. Yeah. And like objectively, like it was cool as hell. Like, I can't even hate. Like I was just in a sea of yellow. And shout out to the Pacers fans that was next to me. There were a lot of Knicks fans in the crowd, but in the specific section I was in, I was the only one in there, and they were all cool as fuck. But when I tell you, like. It was deafening. And especially like the runs they would go on, bro. Yeah. Like when the Knicks would just start to shit themselves. Like that shit is serious. And OKC is the same thing. So it's
maybe
cool.
Worse, honestly.
Yeah, so it's cool.
That's a fact.
All right, last thing, our favorite thing to do with the championship matchups, we do it every year with the Super Bowl, and then we do it the finals every year, is we give you the list of top 10 players and the X factors. Since you're going to be the judge of both of the list. So I'll go first with my top 10 players in the finals between both teams now. So this is not, obviously we're not going to rank the 10 best players on OKC by themselves. Like, that'd be crazy. All right, at 10, I have Nesmith. I have Andrew Nesmith from the Pacers at 10. Number 9, I have I put Isaiah Hartenstein. I really like him. And before I continue, this is not just about, he got a bag. This is about the impact in the series as well. So that is how this is ordered as also. Andrew Nesmith is at 10. Isaiah Hartenstein is at 9. I have Miles Turner at 8. Lou Dort at 7. Alex Caruso at 6. Chet at... No, I'm good. Okay. Chet is at 5. J-Dub, Jalen Williams, is at 4. Pascal Siakam is at 3. Tyrese Halliburton is at 2. And obviously... And this is a tier above everybody, a full tier.
Yes.
Like, it should really be 1 and then start at 3 to 11. As SGA, obviously, the MVP.
Okay. So my list is similar, so I won't read the whole list. I'll say just what are my differences in Daniel's list. So 2nd, I have Siakam. 3rd, I have Reese. 4, I got J-Dub. 5th, I got Chet. 6, I got Caruso. And then kind of the same order all the way down with Turner, Nesmith, IT, and Dort just sprinkled in there. But I definitely have Siakam 2nd.
I agree with you. I have Siakam 2nd, and I would say I think Nembhard's more important than Nesmith, in my opinion. I feel like
I can see that.
So that was funny because I kind of contradicted myself, if I'm being honest, because my X factor was Nembhard, and why my X factor was Nembhard was because OKC. Watch what the Knicks did. They're going to pressure Tyrese. I said they should. They're going to do that. I'm telling you something.
Yeah.
Nembhard is going to be so important to relieve that ball pressure off Tyrese, to be able to be the one to push the pace and then get the ball to Tyrese so he can set up the offense, or be the one to set up that offense. And in that Knicks series, his shot started to fade. He got it back in Game 6, but his shot started to fade in the middle of that series. And remember, none of these guys have played this much basketball before.
Ever.
This is all of them. This is the longest season of basketball they have all played. So you'll see that affect most in the three-point shooting. And can Nembhard be that three-point shooter and be that second ball handler to relieve some ball pressure from them? Because that's the problem you saw Minnesota run into is you can't have Ant be Superman and then be your point guard.
Right.
Exactly.
And Mike Conley was just too old. So I agree with you. He is more important, but I just thought Nesmith is a better player, but then I was like, it's about impact, and then I didn't do the impact thing. So I fucked myself up. But to the Reese thing, and why I disagree with y'all that Siakam is number 2 is simply because Reese controls all of it.
For sure.
And that is always going to be more important and more valuable to me than the guy that just gets to post up and gets in his bag. He is pulling the strings. He is making this go. And he gets a lot of assists, but it's not always about the assists. Me and Ish always speak about it's about the pass that led to the pass, that led to the pass, or the steal that led to the pass, that led to the pass, and all of that. And that is just how the way Tyrese impacts the game is more impactful than Pascal, and that's why I have him at 2.
It's just funny. The reason I have him at 2 is because you're going to need someone to score every single night.
Okay.
Versus OKC.
That's literally my same point. Literally.
That's a great point.
That's exactly what my point was.
Phenomenal point.
You are going to, someone's going to have to be your floor of 22 to 29 points from Siakam.
Yeah.
Because Tyrese can control it all, but this OKC defense is so good. A lot of the easy stuff you got from the Knicks won't be there because Jalen Brunson's 6'1" cat don't play defense. A lot of the holes in the offense that it's kind of built for Tyrese to exploit. Won't be there versus OKC. So it's going to be a lot of possessions with 8 seconds on shot clock left. Who going to go get it?
Okay.
And that's how it goes, especially in the finals. So I definitely think Siakam is going to have to be their most consistent player and their second best player because he's going to have to play great on offense and defense.
I have a counterpoint to that, but piggyback off of that first.
Yeah, I'm with you 100%. And also, I just think the factor in Hallie getting all the hype and he's probably the first person on the scouting report. I think he draws more attention, and that's what allows Siakam to cook. And he's just been so consistent and so clutch that, like you said, he'll be that dominant scorer. He's going to continue to get you those buckets. So that's exactly my point.
You guys are correct with Siakam being the bucket getter. He's leading the team in scoring for the playoffs at 21 a game. Tyrese is at 19. I believe Pascal led it in the last series too, which is why he won the Eastern Conference MVP, which I think should have went to Tyrese as well. But to counter your point about Siakam, and if the shot clock gets down, and when the shot clock gets down, you're going to rely on him to get the bucket. I completely agree with you on that. But my point is, and how I would counter that is, if it gets to that point, they lose the series. If
1000%.
can't do what he does, the series is over. And so that is why I'm picking Tyrese, because he is, like I said, he is a puppet string puller. He is a puppet master making all of this go. If Tyrese is unable to get this offense in motion, it ain't gonna matter what Pascal Siakam is doing in offense in the isolation, because part of the reason Pascal is able to isolation is because of how the offense is set up and how he has it run. So that would be my counterpoint. But it's pulling hairs. They're both incredible. They're both incredible. So before where we hour perfect. Before we jump into Pusha and the rest of them, we do have to do our finals picks. And it is time, my favorite time of the year. Oh, wait, before we do that, I did not get y'all X Factor. X Factor for the finals. Actually, let's go. I'll just start over. X Factor for Indiana Pacers, and who is the X Factor for OKC?
Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. I'm okay. That's a damn.
Do you know what an X Factor is?
I'm going to say X Factor for OKC is going to be Isaiah Hartenstein. Can you play big? Can you keep making the floaters? Can you make the skip passes when they trap SGA? Because, of course, they're going to trap SGA. Are you going to be able to short roll, make those passes? Indiana, I'm still going to go, what's the little light-skinned nigga?
Nembhard?
Yeah, Nembhard. It's going to have to be Nembhard for the reasons that you said. Someone's going to have to help Tyrese bring the ball across half.
Yep.
Fuck, orchestrating the offense. We got to get the ball up in these 8 seconds. So I think it's going to be up on him as a pressure release to get into your offense. So
you can press that middle. X Factor.
Yeah. For Indy, I'm going to go with Miles Turner.
For sure.
Kind of similar to what we were saying before, just how I think that the bigs are kind of going to be a very important piece, especially you saw it in the Knicks series, Miles Turner and Cat were kind of just taking turns not playing defense against each other and just getting buckets on each other.
Yeah.
And it was just it was the craziest thing. They were just chopping each other.
Good hoop.
No, it's fun to watch. Listen, it's fun to watch. So I think that being physical is going to be very important. And I think that how he's going to do what he does, the ball's going to move, them guys are going to get open, all that's going to work and how it works. Miles, we know we can make those open threes and stuff, but are you going to come down and throw your shoulder into a nigga and bring the ball down and shit like that? Get the rebounds, push the break and all that. So I'll say Miles Turner for Indy. And for OKC, I'm going to say the dog that they had to grab in the offseason, man, my boy Alex Caruso. Caruso Goats.
Caruso Goat. NBA champion Alex Caruso.
100%. That dude is literally the definition of what an X Factor is on any team. That's why they got him. Yeah. He's going to give you all the effort plays. He's going to give you all the loose balls, diving on the floor, set that defensive energy, all that. And I just think that there were times where literally OKC was dead in the water throughout the playoffs, and Alex comes out there and just gives you a spark. And the next thing you know, they flood you. They fucking flood you after. So, yeah, I think he's 100% that guy.
And so both of y'all's answers was one of my answers. Obviously, I told y'all my X Factor for the Pacers is Nembhard. I explained that already. My X Factor for OKC is yours as well. It is Alex Caruso. And the reason is Alex Caruso is all the reasons Nelson said, plus he gives them the ability to play small, and playing small for OKC gives them the ability to slow that 7-second offense down.
Exactly.
And that is going to be the master counter. Can you play SGA, Dort, Caruso, J-Dub, and Chet and play that small lineup, which still has a 7-footer in it? That is going to be amazing for them and is going to provide so much perimeter pressure with Caruso, Dort, and J-Dub, man. It's ridiculous. Yeah. And my X factor for both teams throughout the series, 3-point shooting.
Okay.
Yeah. 3-point shooting. Why? They both have gone through dry spells throughout this playoff where less than 10 threes made in the game. If Indiana or OKC has a game where they hit over 17 threes, has 2 games where they hit over 17 threes, they will win that game. Yeah. And so I think 2 games are going to come down to we play a good game and our guy shows up versus your guy shows up. It's going to be one role player game for a team, and then it's going. Can the other 2 games be the 3-point shooting game where you just get hot from the 3-point line? Mm-hmm. So those are my X factors.
Okay.
You brought up a good point though that I do want to focus on before we move on. Do you trap SGA off the pick with the pick and roll? Do you trap SGA, or do you switch, or do you get over? Which option are you going with, and which one do you think Indiana should go with? Nelson, I'm going to assume yours is get over because you said just let him get off, but I don't want to answer for you.
That is exactly what it is. Yeah, I'm going to get over. I just think that, look, Shai is Shai, and he's going to get his. I'm just so much more confident in clamping them other niggas, respectfully.
And real quick, just in case y'all are novices, what I mean by trap, get over a switch is on the pick and roll. So SGA comes up, gets a pick from Isaiah Hartenstein. Indiana has a choice when SGA comes off to his right hand off that pick to trap him, and that trap is going to immediately trigger him passing the ball and get a 3-on-4. But because they do it with Steph, because SGA is such a dynamic offensive player, you would rather play 3-on-4 than let him create 1-on-1. Right. So that's one option. The second option is to switch. Switching creates the fastest switch on the pick and roll and really makes the pocket pass obsolete in the situation, but it might create a disadvantage because you obviously don't want Miles Turner guarding SGA and you don't want Andrew Nesmith guarding Chet. Right. Or you can get over, which the NBA kind of got away from the past few years, but OKC this playoffs has shown you that is just because y'all are lazy. Yeah. It's not because we can't do it.
Listen, championship teams never stop.
Exactly. Literally. Getting over on a screen means that screen is coming. You're going to make your body skinny. You're going to sink your back in, get your ass flat, and step over that screen. It's like a dance. Ant is one of the best at it. Ant gets over screen. Ant and Lou Dort get over screens better than anybody in the NBA right now. And Drew Holiday. Yeah. So that's what I mean by that. But Ish, what would you do?
I'm not gonna lie, and I really mean, and this is just one of my opinions of SGA games as a general rule. SGA is not playing 2025 offense, so the 2025 defenses that we present to him inherently don't work because his game is not built to be stopped by that anyway. I'd go under every screen. I'd go under every screen the entire series. If SGA, I'd go under every screen and I'd play drop the entire series. If Shea wants to come off those screens and shoot any three he wants for the entire series, it's yours. Yeah. Shoot the three.
I'm with you.
The reason you don't do that, you don't see that in regular basketball, of course, Steph Curry, you could never go under any screen again. Never. But aside from Steph Curry, think about all the superstars in the league. Luka, he's shooting it. Dame, he's shooting it. Steph, he's shooting it. Ant, he's shooting it. James Harden, he's shooting it. KD, Braun, Kyrie. All these guys, they kind of eliminated the just go under the screen, play good defense, protect the mini. I would drop, go underneath. If Shea comes across after the drop and beats you, good shot. But I'm not going to trap because I don't want to get into that 4-on-3 and then Lou Dort hit a 3. And then Alex Caruso hit a 3. And then the others get involved. If Shea is going to beat you off pull-up threes, pull-up middies, all the in-between shots that you have to take when you do go under screen and drop, more power to you. But what you're seeing so much is teams are used to guarding superstar point guards that want to shoot from the logo. Shea don't want to do that.
Yep. Yeah.
So trapping Shea, and the thing is, when you trap Shea, he's still 6'7".
Yep.
So he's seeing over your trap anyway. Yep. He's still going to get the pass off. Like when teams strapped Steph, some of it was like, man, Tristan Thompson, you 6'11", just run at that nigga real fast. Just run at that nigga real fast, get your hands around him. You might tip a pass. Shea is so big, broad shoulders, he'll keep you on his hip. One dribble, throw it to the short roll, and now it's easy work. The best way to get everyone else, to keep everyone else from being involved, the best we've ever seen it, and it's crazy because they lost the series, 2022 Celtics. Literally took Draymond out the series. Clay, Poole, everyone took them out the series by saying, listen, we're dropping, we're going underneath, and if this guy beats us, we lose.
And he just did.
Yeah. And he just did it. And but I would definitely go under. So listen, do not, under any circumstances, don't switch, do not give any advantage, I would say.
Hey, man, 10 out of 10, no notes. That was my exact answer, exact reason. That was incredible. You explained that perfectly. I have nothing else to say. The 2025 defense, he don't play a 2025 offense, so you can't run a 2025 defense. Literally. Perfect point.
Shea's an 08, 09 superstar.
Yes.
Listen, man, we're bringing back the mid-range, man.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Bro, literally, bro. Shea is, I'm big, I'm strong, good handle, I'm going to get to my spot, and I know how to score.
And another thing about, just to piggyback one point, when you go under, because you're going under, Shea plays at his own pace. So when you go under, it's not like Shea is just going to explode to the hole. Exactly. So you might essentially just kind of be resetting your defense. Like get under, he roll, and now your defense back to where it was. Exactly. So excellent point. Excellent.
And that was it's crazy. We be because we didn't plan this, but we be here every time Shea reset that screen because he's playing at his own pace. That's a win for your defense. Exactly. Every time he has to reset the screen because you go under, you're killing time. And the goal is because you're never gonna get Shea out of his rhythm. But when it's been 6 minutes since Lou Dort take a shot, even when they get that fast break, it's a little harder than when he's been running up and down, touching the rock. So yeah,
cook that.
Yeah.
All right. Here
I'm
we
telling
go.
you, Knicks. Hit my line. Like,
Man.
Here we go. You gonna have to pod though. You can't do
listen, it's 2025. They might let you pod for real.
I was gonna say, mind the pod.
Yeah.
Come on.
All right. Start with Nelson.
Yeah.
Who is your final pick in Finals MVP?
Ah, man.
Hold on. I'm sorry. I said final, and it's gonna really bother me when I play the TikTok. Nelson, who is your 2025 NBA Finals pick, and who is your Finals MVP?
I'm gonna say the Oklahoma City Thunder in 7 games, and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is MVP.
I like it.
Yeah, it's a safe answer, but with everything that we said, I simply just think we're watching a historic Thunder team, and I think that the Pacers will give them a harder time than a lot of media people will give credit. And I think that we're going to get a great series. Despite, I think it's cool that the small markets are doing what they're doing. People think it's lame, whatever. Like Daniel said before, you're going to watch some great basketball be played. And it's not going to be sweet. But all in all, the MVP had a historic season with a historic team. And I think this will be too much to overcome.
I'm going to go OKC in a healthy 5. In a healthy gentleman's 5.
Where every single game was close?
No.
Oh. They're going to cook them?
I think there's 2 blowouts. I think there's a minimum 2 blowouts. This series feels a lot like the 2020 Lakers Heat series, where you had an all-time defense versus going up against emotional offense, all-time offense. But I think everything that the Pacers do, the same way they're built to counter OKC is built to counter them because everything the Pacers do is based on mismatches. And OKC has lineups where it's just not mismatches. It's just not guys that you're going to attack. I think XGA is going to be unstoppable. I think the Pacers being smaller on the perimeter is going to hurt them a lot. And I just don't think they have the wherewithal to just last 2 weeks versus this OKC defense.
All right. I am going with Nelson on this. We all have the same team. OKC. I'm going 7 games. That is after a lot of thought about a sweep, 5 games.
Definitely.
Yeah. Never landed on 6. It was always 4, 5, or 7.
That's real.
I just feel like who want to win a championship in the Indiana?
Exactly.
We might as well close out OKC.
Yeah,
but
for sure.
I am going OKC in 7. Obviously, SGA will get MVP, averaging over 30 in this series.
Yeah.
And completing a top 5 season for a guard in NBA history. The reason I am going OKC to wrap up our NBA final segment is simply defense wins championships, and they have an historic defense.
Yeah.
Now you're asking, well, if their defense is so good, how does it get to 7 games? One answer, Rick Carlisle. I love, and I mean love, what I have seen from Rick Carlisle.
Yeah.
It just said an amazing point. Indiana's offense is based on mismatch, and they won't be able to create a lot of them. Rick Carr will. Rick Carr will find a way.
Yeah.
He will find a weakness. He will find something in that defense to exploit. And the reason I think this also goes 7 is because both of these teams are so young. So those closeout games are going to be that much harder.
Right.
Yes.
Those moments in the fourth quarter are going to be that much harder.
Right.
And I think both teams lose a game they shouldn't. Like, OKC may lose game 1 over a mental lapse in the fourth quarter, and Indiana may lose game 4 over something stupid in the third quarter.
Yeah.
Like, I just think we're going to get a 7-game series because of Rick Carlisle, and the lack of experience from both of these teams feeds into the dramatization of, I love making up words, of this series. So, OKC in 7, SGA Finals MVP.
Yeah, I didn't say it, but of course, SGA Finals MVP.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
All right, let's get into some music.
I'm so excited for the game tomorrow.
No, for sure.
I'm so excited.
For sure.
It's going to be an amazing series. Part of the reason I picked 7 is because selfishly I wanted to go 7. It might go 5. It's very well maybe right.
No,
It might
really
be
wanna
an entertaining ass 5, though.
Yeah, it would.
Yeah.
All right, We have some new music. We have some news and article to review. Like, we're real journalists. And shout out to journalism with the article, phenomenal article in GQ with clips. Go read that.
Yeah, Billboard too.
I just want to start off by saying it is 6th season. I hope you smell it in the air, motherfucker. It's Young Money till I die, nigga. I don't know what y'all know, but Lil Wayne is dropping an album tomorrow night. I may not go to sleep. I may just stay up for the next 24 hours and wait for this album to come out. I am so excited. I don't know what to expect. It might be terrible. It might be amazing. It might be in between. I don't give a fuck because it's not a Lil Wayne album I don't like. I still listen to Rebirth. I Am Not a Human Being 2. I Am Not a Human Being 1. Funeral. Carter 5. All the albums y'all kill, I love all of them albums.
I like Carter 5.
Carter 5 is good. I don't think there's a bad Carter. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh no, it's not. The Carter 5 is very good. It's his most underrated album, and it just came out at a weird time of music, and it was dated. When
I was gonna say
out.
most of it was like from 10 years ago.
Exactly.
Dave thought it was a classic.
I did think it was a classic the first week, and I will think the Carter 6 is a classic at least a Tuesday.
We love self-awareness. It's okay. You're allowed to be wrong if you're self-aware.
Man, we did Grammy predictions. It was 4 Carter 5 songs.
Hey, it sure was. And I stand on that shit. Mona Lisa should have won that fucking Grammy, bitch. Like, what you talking about?
He said, yo, listen, we got Swiss on the beat. It's upbeat, uproar, people like it,
This is why it's so good being a Kendrick fan, because the thing is, that nigga will really leave with those Grammys. I can say all this shit and you can be mad as fuck and be like, you dick riding ass nigga. I'm like, yeah, but he won though.
Yeah, literally.
So you gotta hold that.
Listen, we've been eating real good. We
ain't lying. But I'm very excited. That's all I have to say on that. Lil Wayne, I don't know what's up with you and just this mysterious marketing, but dude, like, we get you a superstar and your legacy act, bro. You can drop a single, you can give a track list. It's no information.
It's a weird rollout. It's a very weird.
Very weird roll. Listen,
and he's been rolling out since February,
Yeah.
so I thought he was about to hit June or hit like the end of May and turn the fuck up.
Announced his tour the same day Drake announced his tour too. It's a real weird rollout.
Hey,
it's a little.
I noticed it too.
It's a little weird, man.
Hold on. Also, the tour announcement with no New Orleans date.
Yeah.
No.
That I wasn't too mad at because he do the fest every year, right?
He did the fest in November, and he performed at the Jazz Festival in New Orleans in April, and then he's doing another Louisiana fest in November again.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
New Orleans,
He do it like damn near every 6 months,
like he's always performing in New Orleans. And Lil Wayne, when he did his 2022 tour, he did the same thing. New Orleans wasn't on there. New Orleans is rarely on his tour because he's there so much.
Already there.
So,
I saw people complaining on Twitter. It was like,
it was because of the Super Bowl shit. It was really because of
TMZ was like, amidst the Super Bowl snub, Lil Wayne leaves New Orleans office tour. Like, dog, shut up. He's in New Orleans all the time, dog. Just pay. That makes me mad when people write articles like that because it's like, you didn't Google nothing.
Right,
you just saw that and was like, let's post something.
Working for TMZ got to be the best. TMZ got to be the best.
You can do whatever.
Do whatever, dog. But shout out to Wayne. I'm very excited for that, but that's not what we're here for. I'll give you the very biased review next week. I'll give you my biased review next week and my unbiased review maybe in like November.
We're relying on you, Wayne, though, because we're like starving.
Dog.
Like, I'm actually like, I shouldn't be relying on Carter.
I'm sorry. Listen, Bodie James did not drop 5 albums this year for niggas to be like, we're starving.
He did it for his child support. I'm trying to tell y'all niggas, he owes people money.
Niggas
he owes people money.
Fam, today we are in the first week of June. He got 5 albums out, bro.
It's crazy.
And there's one more coming this month, bro.
That's too much for me.
It's like Young Boy, like if he was like a crazy lyricist.
For sure.
Yo, salute BoJack, bro.
Yeah. All right, so I do want to shout out Taylor Swift also, which is something I started to do a lot more often on this show after I saw her at all these award shows having a good time. But Sade, she paid $360 million to get her masters back. Ironic. She officially owns all of her music. She re-released the albums, told her fans to go listen to the re-released albums. Yeah. They have started to do that, and now she owns all of the albums combined, so she just gets all of the money that is coming in as artists should. Shout out to Taylor, bro. Like, insane. The music industry moves as Taylor moves. She dictates when people's drop. I promise you, if Taylor Swift was saying, you know what, I'm re-releasing an album tomorrow, the Carter 6 will not come out tomorrow. I promise. I promise. And that goes for any rapper, any artist. The only person that may think about dropping with Taylor, it's Drake, and I don't think he doing that.
Taylor made freestyle, man.
No, he admitted he pushing his shit.
So Taylor, salute to you, shawty. Like you was cooking. I love seeing artists take back the power. And the best thing about Taylor is I'm gonna say something real nasty. No, I'm not. I'll tell y'all what I was gonna say after I finish what I was about to say.
Subscribe to the Patreon to see what they
other artists in this. This is not just for her. She's going to pull some artists up with her. She's going to help artists get out of deals. And her setting this precedent actually helps the artist in general because it shows that we do have the power and it gives people the confidence to make that move in their future. I was about to say that like Hove Taylor, and I was like, I can't say that. I
was gonna say
she do got a little Hove in her, bro.
I was like,
no, I'm okay with it. Honestly, I'm okay. I want to see like, bro, like honestly. Because listen, it's gotten a lot easier to like Taylor when she stopped winning Album of the Year every year.
For sure.
So I'm kind of like on the Taylor train. When do we like start having the convos of like where's like all time like artists like of just everything? I feel like she kind of checks a lot of boxes. She kind of controls the music industry. Like, I think Taylor, like...
I think success-wise, I think she's in a very short conversation.
That's what
very short.
That's what I'm saying, bro.
But artist-wise, I feel like there's a room she's still not in.
Yes.
It's two rooms she's not in.
Yeah.
Like, I have the Mount Rushmore of Stevie, Beyonce, Prince, Michael.
Right.
Then I have the next 6 to fill that 10 out with the Whitneys of the world, the Hoes, Kanye's.
Is she above Adele?
That was the name I was about to say. The Hoes, Kanye's, Adele.
We don't think it's a combo, though?
Not really, no.
I don't know, man.
So the thing with Taylor,
I'm not talking just musically. I'm talking about like the superstar.
No, that's what I'm saying. Because Adele, like we mentioned how Taylor keep winning awards. Adele be winning awards over Beyonce too.
But and Taylor drop more and still keep winning.
But that's the thing. Adele mad she winning these awards over Beyonce. But Adele numbers also ridiculous for not being an American product too.
Yeah,
and she don't drop as often, which leads to I think Taylor has a rabid fan base. So I don't necessarily give. I don't want to say credit,
it's
but
almost
I don't.
Like a Drake thing.
I don't. Yeah, like I don't hold too much stock into your fans just loving you a lot because it's not like Taylor is dropping critically acclaimed album where everybody is this is phenomenal. This is amazing. This is Taylor Swift fans are like, oh, I love her music. It's like the Drake thing. It's Drake fans love Drake and think nobody makes better music than Drake. True. But when you talk to somebody like us three that love Drake but also love other artists and Drake isn't our absolute favorite,
I just had the craziest idea. Keep going.
We absolutely. I forgot my train of thought. It's okay. It's okay. I was kind of done anyway.
Why doesn't Drake go to Taylor Swift route?
I told you last year. I thought that's what he was doing, trying to buy out his masters and go independent.
No.
Oh,
drop it again.
Drop his music again.
Drop it again. Drop all his.
Do a Drake's version.
Do a Drake's version like Taylor Swift. Oh. Why doesn't Drake in the middle of these wars over ownership, all this stuff, sold his catalog, all that stuff, especially now where we are, and we're going to talk about it next with the label and stuff, with a fan base like Drake's who don't want his new music. I don't care what y'all niggas want. I don't care what y'all niggas
Take Care is still on the Billboard.
Literally, bro. Like, what be killing me is, like, niggas be like, yo, I like Drake new music, and you ask for their Drake rankings, and it's in chronological order. The newest album always lasts for some reason. But if Drake really sat back and really thought about the business side of it, if he were to take the Taylor Swift route, this could be a parachute for his career. Like, it could legit say that nigga entire.
That is crazy.
Because if anybody fan base is willing to go buy another CD of music we heard again,
they flooded that 100 gigs website.
Yo, fam,
come on,
man.
Bro.
If that nigga dropped If You Re-List It's Too Late again with some new song, they updated it, they fixed it, they did a little whatever to it, Drake's version, like that's what we call it. Yeah. I'd go get it.
I don't. So first off, I completely agree. He should do that. Yeah. I don't know if he can because they started writing clauses in contracts that you cannot do that anymore after Taylor did this. She changed the game. Like that shit was genius. Like
genius.
I don't care how you feel about her. Yeah. That shit was genius.
That's one of the best ideas ever.
I don't know if they will allow Drake to do that, especially with the power they clearly have over him.
Yeah.
So I don't know if they will allow Drake to do that, but they absolutely should. But Taylor, salute, bro. You was cold. And you was helping. You was really pushing the genre forward for real.
Biggest
and when I say the
genre,
I mean the music industry.
Yeah.
And to my list, when you was talking about superstardom, he had said artist-wise, there wasn't a room that she's not in. So I was just going artistry with that list. If we include everything, you're gonna have an argument to include her in that 5 through 10. I don't think it's 6 through 10. I don't think it's no argument for her being over top 5. But it's just like we gonna put her for Whitney Houston, bro.
No,
we gonna put her over Hov, bro.
With you.
It's some names I just can't. I can't.
No,
do
I'm 100%
bro.
with you. I just think that as she keeps doing what she's doing, I could just see it getting harder to argue, and I'll still argue it because I'm me. Yeah. But it's just
is she over the weekend?
Yes.
Yeah, probably.
She wouldn't go album for album with that nigga though.
No, fuck no.
Yeah, she wouldn't go album for album with that nigga though.
Okay. And I also want to make one point off of the Drake version thing. I just am a full proponent. Listen, Taylor could record Love Story today and like it still hit the same. I don't think Drake could get into a booth and rap Say What's Real from So Far Gone and it sound the same at all.
Shit.
I'm not gonna lie. I don't think so. I think that hunger, when he really was like fighting for this shit, is like what I loved so much about Drake, and I literally don't think that's in him right now.
That's fair.
I literally don't think I can hear it in his voice if he rapped like those songs.
I agree until they rip you off that top spot. Until they rip you off that mantle you thought you was on. And speaking of, just to transition, because we wanted to get into the Pusha T, if you haven't heard, first, Clips dropped a single. Go get the Clips single. Clips single's crazy. It sounds amazing. Push sounds amazing. Pharrell beat. Listen.
Come on.
And I'm glad I have a platform because I do want to say this on our platform. Y'all gonna stop fucking playing with Pharrell name on the timeline I'm on.
Skateboard P.
Hey, y'all do it on y'all timeline. But I worried about a Pharrell production, fam. First of all, that's Pharrell Williams.
They gotta chill.
Second, that is Pusha T and Pharrell. It's like Pusha T gonna let him give him some ass. Like Pusha T been on some. If you could pick any one rapper other than like Hov or Drake or Kanye, if you just want to pick a regular nigga, Pusha T has found himself on some of the best beats ever. For sure. Just there.
Yeah.
So I think he's going to be fine. But, of course, the big story was the interviews that came out about the behind-the-scenes stuff that's going on. You want to go ahead?
All right. So this interview that just came out in GQ was like it said, Pusha Malice. First off, it's incredible. And
shout out Stephen Victor.
Shout out to Stephen Victor and shout out to journalism. But this album is seriously incredible. This article is seriously incredible. And it shows, hold on, I'm about to take this out. There you go. Okay, there we go. I just had to lift it like an idiot. Hour 27. All right. Sorry, I had to fix my mic. But in this GQ article, which is, like I said, is phenomenal. First, I just want to say it's very refreshing to hear rappers that are normal people. Because in this world, and to the detriment of some of our YNs, as we call them, and the people in our community, a lot of these rappers have given off this persona that like your habits just don't matter, and like you get rich and you get to become a rapper. You can smoke all the weed you want to, you can drink all the drink you want to, you can fuck all the bitches you want to, and none of that gonna matter, and your life gonna be amazing. But if you see these rappers on a daily basis, if you see these rappers when they're in their vulnerable states, pause, like you're going to notice, like I actually don't want to live like that. If you see these rappers when they can't do the things and have their vices, you're going to say, I don't want to live like that.
When that Kodak clip pops up on the timeline,
you feel me?
Tweaking.
You feel me? Like, so it's really refreshing to get a rapper like Pusha T that clearly is in a sober space, in a real creative space, a real intentional artist space. So I want to give Push and Malice credit just for that. And obviously, you know what No Malice has been through and has decided to go through with his journey. So beautiful. But to Ish's side, to what Ish's point was, there were three things in this article that really, really stood out. Four. One, the biggest one, it was a restaurant they said was better than Carbone, and I gotta find that motherfucker.
They talking?
Yeah,
no. It was they was in Italy, so
okay.
It was in Italy.
I had Carbone 2 months ago. I'm thinking about that.
Dog, I had it a year ago, and I think about it every day. So that was the first thing I took away. I was like a paragraph in, but after that, there was a part about his relationship with Kanye, which he kind of spoke on in the Joe Budden interview, one of the best rap interviews we've ever gotten.
Yeah.
In the Joe Budden interview in 2017, 2018, after the Drake beef.
Crazy interview in hindsight.
Yes, where he speaks on his relationship with Kanye, and he does that again, where he says him and Kanye basically don't have a relationship because Kanye sees through how he feels about him, and he doesn't feel like Kanye is a man. Secondly, he speaks about him having to buy out of his Def Jam deal because Def Jam would not allow Kendrick Lamar to would not allow Clips to release the Kendrick Lamar verse they got because it was quote-unquote more subliminals and shots at Drake, which everybody has come back and said that is not true, but rap is rap and words can be subjective. And in third, it says that Drake has essentially stop verses from coming out that he didn't like or that had something negative to say about him. Right. Most notably was the Maybach Music 6 with
Rick
Ross. Yeah. And if you remember that press run, Ross, every interview, just like, Ross is an amazing storyteller. He got that deep ass voice and he get to talking that boss talk like, I'm a boss.
Cool nigga.
Real talk.
I sent the record to Weezy first. Without Push on it. Then I sent it to Push without Weezy on it. He got into that bag on 90 interviews. Yep. And in hindsight, I'm realizing he was trying to force that shit to come out. Yeah. Ross knew what they was doing. Yeah. Ross knew what was going on behind the scenes, and they was trying to force that to come out. And I remember in one of them interviews, he said, I think it was his Drink Champs one, he was like, I'm going to get Drake and Pusha together too. And I think he was saying that as a little like, just let me do this. Like, I bring people together. Like, I'm the one who got Drake, Wayne, and Baby back together, all of that.
Drake and Meek.
And Meek. Like, I'm the one who did all of that. Let me work. And I think he was trying to push that conversation to be like, yo, we're good over here. And they didn't because I went and listened to the Push verse on Maybach Music 6.
Classic verse, by the way.
Amazing verse. Like I said, I can only be non-biased about Lil Wayne about 6 months after his music comes out. So at first, I was like, Wayne got him. I heard that verse yesterday. Bitch, well, what the fuck?
That is one of the funniest fucking songs ever.
Boy, what? Lil Wayne get on there talking about some pussy lambs coming cutting mouth. And Push get on that motherfucker. I'll kill a nigga if he say my name.
Yo, that song in hindsight, I remember where I was when I got this leak because the album dropped and it was the minute the album dropped,
12:02 it was out.
The Pusha verse was out. It was leaked. The master, I literally have it in my phone. It's a mastered version. Like you can see they ripped it right off the laptop. Yeah. It's so funny because Wayne is like talking about love. They got John Legend in the background.
Fucking John Legend.
He talking about this girl. Push get on there. He said, "What a hell of a year. True colors exposed." I'm like, oh yeah, this nigga's been tweet.
When you speak truth to power, your popularity grows. I was like, whoa, he took this somewhere it was not going.
He said, "Oh, you niggas weird, claiming you've been rich, but you needed shit like veneers." I said, "Oh my God, Bush!" But that was one of the first times you saw Drake flex his label industry censorship. Business. Yeah. I'm stopping shit. But it happened again. So on Pop Smoke's album, his posthumous, whatever, I don't know how to pronounce the word, but Shoot for the Stars, A for the Moon. A great album, by the way. I love Pop Smoke. But they got a verse from Pusha T ripped off that.
Yep. Yeah.
Off Paranoia. And this one was kind of more publicized because Pusha T and Young Thug had that little tit-a-tat, back and forth,
Yeah.
But
and I was listening to the Joe Budden pod today, shout out to the guys, and Ice is real close with Pusha, and essentially said this happened multiple times. Those two instances are the publicized one. There are a couple more from Pusha and other artists where Drake has done this, 1,000%. And it has just been Drake. This has been a consistent thing.
Yeah, for him. And that is the thing where you saw him flex not only flex his label power in action, but on verses, on songs, talking about how close him and Lucien are, how close him and
the Splash
Brothers, And I think that is why, first in hindsight, talking about the beef, that entire situation looks different now.
Yep.
Yeah.
The entire situation looks different now, and the 20v1 narrative makes 1,000,000% fucking percent. Like Ross jumping out the window over the cease and desist is like, it's a little, but that's my man's, I'll go. Some niggas is like that.
Yeah, hell yeah.
if I'm Rick Ross, this nigga that sent me 18 cease and desist letters in the last 2 years, and I know Kendrick finna go, fuck that nigga, bro.
Yeah,
let's just
sure.
that. Fuck that nigga, bro. Yeah. And like that is the thing. Everybody's like, why don't people like Drake? You are hearing why. You are like to actively conspire with labels to censor other artists' art is insanity. We have never seen that type of power exercised on the rap game or any genre, for a matter of fact, ever. Even when Hove had a label he owned, never did it. And I mentioned how it changes the beef in hindsight. It makes me wonder, because of course, because of Kendrick Lamar, we're always looking like at every little thing he does. Maybe it's the reason these songs hit YouTube first.
Yeah.
And not on streaming. Maybe it's the reason these shits were coming out regardless. Because regardless whether if UMG licenses it, it's on YouTube.
Yep.
Maybe there's a reason that's like, we got to put it out so many people hear it, you can't take it back because he's such a big star.
Yep.
And, you know, Daniel told, you know, this was our first reaction was like, he thought he was going to set Kendrick up.
Yep. Exactly what he thought it was. He thought that throughout this beef, at any moment, he was going to be able to be like, stop this. And when he thought he was going to be able to do it was when he dropped Family Matters. And this is why the Meet the Grams 23 minutes later makes so much more sense. Because if you let them know what you're doing, now they can come down and be like, let me hear that first.
Exactly.
And they hear what you're saying, nah, you can't put that out.
Yeah.
Kendrick said, I'm not giving you no time to think, to know.
I'm not sending this to nobody.
I'm not sending this to nobody. The only people that know this is my engineer and Punch.
Yeah.
Punch and Top.
But Alchemist ain't even know.
Alchemist ain't even know. Like, no one knows this is coming out, and I'm going to drop it on YouTube, and we'll worry about getting it on streaming later. And that seems like this is something that was communicated throughout the industry to Kendrick Lamar, that, yo, if you play this wrong, he will stop you from dropping, and you will lose just off of the optics. And then, like he's doing with Pusha T on Meltdown and Jumbo Shit Popping, playing in your face, dissing you to your face, acting like he wants you to jump back outside, knowing if you try to back outside, he's just gonna stop it, and that way he look like the king in the end.
Yep.
And so when niggas is yelling, why the fuck don't niggas like Drake? Why did everybody turn their back on Drake? It's because Drake is a bitch ass nigga. 100%. That is why. It's because he does bitch ass nigga shit like this, and niggas don't fuck with that. And Pusha T is a nigga that stands on principle. You hear it when he's talking about Kanye. He's a nigga that stands on principle. And Kendrick's music, you hear he's a nigga that stands on principle. Ross come from the struggle. He a nigga that stands on principle. So these niggas that stand on this shit, that got a code they live by, you come in here and your feelings hurt, your manhood hurt, your ego hurt, so you blocking niggas' verses. You ruining what the essence of this shit is because you lost the rap battle. You lost the rap battle, let that nigga diss you again and get back in the field, nigga. Yeah. You the biggest artist in the world regardless. You got your fans regardless. Yep. So now you playing like you big bad wolf, like I want to do this again, while also behind the scenes being like, hey, please don't let this come out, please. Yeah, here's a cease and desist. This can't come out. Yeah. Type of bitch ass nigga shit is that? And caveat to Drake, because I probably shouldn't have called Drake a bitch ass nigga on this platform because we getting bigger and I want to interview Drake one day and I love him. Sorry, Drake. But
ain't no way Drake giving us that interview. Once he see my Twitter, he not giving it.
But lastly, actually, I forgot what I was about to say making a joke.
That's fine. I definitely got more because you mentioned Pusha T standing on business. Just for the audience to make sure we follow this linearly. So they got Kendrick on Chains and Whips. Chains and Whips is it was debuted at the Louis Vuitton fashion show, I think 2024.
Yeah.
Response to Jim Jones, first of all, absolutely a seer Jim Jones. Got a good seer on both sides. 3 minutes on both sides.
Jim Jones' response is better, but anyway.
Listen, that's the thing. I ain't hear it. I ain't hear it. Nigga says you run from the spirit of repossession. All right. So, first of all, the tone of this song already, from what you can hear, because the song pre-Kendrick verse is out. That shit sounds sinister, sound mean, sound crazy. Malice is talking crazy. Pusha T ends his verse with, "It's no tombstones in the desert." So, them niggas are talking. But they turn the album in, and UMG is like, you can't drop this song. Take Kendrick off. And they're like, or change his verse. And they weren't going to do it. Pusha T, like you said, man of business, stand on morals. His first Clips album. And a decade. We're not gonna change songs because the label heads don't like it. It got so bad. They was like, yo, we gonna release the song. Let's just release the song on a different label, but we'll still pay you. They said no, don't release it. After that, it was like, all right, let's just get off this label in general. Costs, what was it?
7 figures.
Seven figures to get out this label. They say, yo, cost 7 figures. Shout out to Pusha T, Steven Victor, real niggas. They said that shit. They said that bitch was done in 24 hours.
And Def Jam owned Clips and Pusha T, so they had to pay to get Clips off the label and to get Pusha off the label.
That's some real.
Shout out Rock Nation. Shout out Hove once again
Of
being
course.
the
Call Hove, got the deal set up, distribution deal with Rock Nation for the album.
bam. Beautiful with all the Rock Nation machine
On the masters, all of that.
Real niggas, dog.
1,000%.
Hove gonna Hove.
Hove gonna Hove. And you know what? I ain't gonna lie. And it comes out in a month. Put Hove on that bitch too.
Fuck
I'm not surprised if he already is.
Put Hove on that bitch too. And I also wanted to say this. Don't be surprised if the song they played for UMG is different than the song we gonna get next month.
Don't be surprised.
Now I'm pissed.
Now I'm mad. Bro, now I'm mad.
Now I'm gonna really fire up on this nigga.
And the Kendrick thing is, bro, like the Watch the Party Die shit. We were at the concert. The way he do that first verse, the whacked out murals, the way there are certain things blanked out, even on Not Like Us, where he's talking about like the industry can hate me, fuck all.
He's
like
teed up.
It's
teed up.
Like we thought it was like, you know, niggas be like, yo, fuck the industry. No, it's serious.
Yeah.
It's serious. Like he did something that was not in the plan for these billionaires. And that is what is so jarring from this interview, because we talked about Meet the Grams. Like you talked about how 23 minutes later is so important. Fam, that Not Like Us shit, it being what it was, might have saved it from being even released. Because
For sure.
Yeah.
if you send in Not Like Us to be released and they review it the same way they reviewing these Pusha T songs,
It's not coming out.
stopping it instantly.
dead.
But you should drop Meet the Grams. You don't tell nobody about that while these white people scrambling trying to figure out what they're going to do about that. The next morning you drop Not Like Us. By 6 p.m. it's the biggest rap song in the world. Now they can't cancel it. They can't drop it. Because, and this is the whole thing about Drake and why he feels betrayed and the tantrums he's throwing and all the outbursts is,
That's the greatest week of my life. Anyway,
Bro,
sorry.
literally.
Fam.
Sorry.
Literally.
Goodness gracious. That was so fucking crazy, man.
crazy week.
I was living, bro.
But he feels betrayed because he thought that they were on his side. That's what he thinks. He thinks they are on my side. They're with me. Lucy is my guy.
And we said that.
Yeah.
That one we were spot on. We said that last, not said last show, but we talked about this all year last year. So at some point, I remember having a conversation of, I know something happened with Drake and Lucien, and Drake feels betrayed by Lucien and feels like this shouldn't happen.
Exactly.
And that was part of the reason he sued. But now I want to jump to the lawsuit because it makes the lawsuit even funnier.
Yeah.
Because the lawsuit is essentially like, y'all didn't do what y'all usually did with me.
Yeah, cooked. Like that's the
Like
thing.
that's why now it makes so much sense why UMG had the sass and their responses from their lawyers, which it was like the whole Drake has benefited from the success and et cetera, and Drake has made hundreds of millions of dollars with all of that. And it's like, dog, we have given you everything we have asked for, down to the point where we're telling niggas they can't release music because it hurts your ego.
Yeah.
And now one nigga get off on you because he did something. He went around the system. That's why the lawsuit is even funnier. Yeah. He went around the system that would have allowed the system to do what you're saying the lawsuit said he did.
Yeah, he thought the veneer of protection was wider than it was. But that's the thing. And we talk about independent artists, and Kendrick is technically independent because he owns all his masters, PG Lane, all that stuff. Like, there are no labels anymore, really. Like, if you're on a label, it's because you need label support or you need label backing, you need the connections, you need it. Once you're as big as Kendrick is, you don't need that.
You're just a nigga that drop music.
Literally. So if I drop Not Like Us and UMG got a problem with it, cool.
So
Rock Nation won't. You gonna drop the number one song in the world, number one rap artist in the world? Like, you are there. Their hands were tied in this situation.
Yep.
And Drake still threw a tantrum after.
Yep.
So it makes everything look way different in hindsight. Add to the list of Pusha T being one of the realest niggas ever.
Yep.
And the Drake shit is just, it's getting really, like, during the beef.
Wait, no second.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I just want to say thank God that Kendrick was the challenger that was suited to take this on.
Yeah.
And was
Dog.
like
Couldn't have been no one else.
Couldn't have been
Nobody. No one
Nobody,
else.
bro.
Dead ass.
Nobody,
Dead
bro.
ass.
and you realize like if it was anyone else or even
Yeah.
if it was Kendrick,
Lil Wayne
and-
could have did. I'm sorry.
And-
I'm so sorry.
Listen, time might tell, man. Wayne might
Lil
go.
Wayne did Drake on the Carter 6. Lord have mercy. I'm
Oh
gonna
my
break down.
God.
I'm gonna cry for 30
Listen,
days and 30 nights.
Listen,
Oh
I will
my
say,
God.
niggas real quiet about the album. That can mean one or two things. There's some shit on there niggas don't want you to know yet.
but bro, if it was anyone,
Fuck Drake and everybody that love him. Okay, I'm sorry. Nelson, go. I'm sorry.
pour the whole Sprite. I'm the real 6 guy, nigga. Whoa.
this shit shouldn't come this natural. It should not. What the fuck? We're some sick people. Okay, so the fact that if Kendrick went about this the way that, like you said, if he wanted to submit it to streaming and they blocked that shit, do you realize how
Insufferable.
Drake would have won this shit by default?
Yep.
And
And would have walked around like he really
like
that
he
nigga.
was that nigga.
Like he smacked that nigga. Like he real deal smacked that nigga.
Drake is the nigga in school that will punch a nigga when the principal not looking.
Yeah.
And then the nigga turn around right in time to see you punch the nigga.
Yup.
And then now you're cooked.
Yup.
It's the lamest shit ever, bro. And it's just like, I'm just glad we talk a lot about the spirit of hip hop and the culture of hip hop and the real niggas who really believe in this shit. Thank God we still got, and it sucks because I don't know how many of these young niggas gonna be able to do it because it's all old niggas, all 30 plus 40-year-old niggas doing it. But thank God we still got these niggas in to keep the culture of this shit going because we were this close to like a hip hop 9/11.
No cap.
Well, that's the thing. At a certain point, and that's why I love like Kendrick's arc right now, where the war with Drake, and I hate how, of course, the losers of the war frame it however they want, but like they sent Kendrick at him, or he's the industry baby, and Lucy, and they wanted to devalue him.
Spots.
Yeah, all that. Kendrick Lee put all that shit on the line to go with that nigga.
Yep.
Like we thought it was he's renegotiating, he's not protected. Fam, them 18 days he wasn't responding looks so different. Because now you know them 18 days he wasn't sending songs out to niggas.
Nope.
He wasn't sending shit out to niggas.
Nope.
And once he started dropping and all of them were instant from my Twitter, Kendrick Lamar out.
Yes.
It was completely different. Now when Drake was making push-ups, and that's the thing, because I remember literally everything. Niggas don't remember. I remember them Spotify billboards. I remember the hip-hop is a competitive sport billboards.
Yeah.
I remember Rory and Maul gyrating in their seat, doing the little push-up shit before push-ups
Nah, don't put that on Rory. That was
I'm about to say, it was just
Don't put that on
small.
Rory. I fuck with Rory.
Roy be rocking with Kendrick.
But, yeah, I remember, like, you could tell Drake was, like, Drake took all that time shooting a music video. Kendrick ain't shooting no music video.
Nigga grabbed the Bad City.
Yo, literally, nigga spent all the time, grabbed the wrong van. Yes.
Hey, Lucian, where did they shoot the album cover at?
Yeah, literally. But we mentioned the Pusha T interview from Joe Budden because we're almost really done. I just wanted to mention it. In hindsight, one of the funniest interviews ever, knowing how much Maul likes Drake.
Oh, yeah.
One of the funniest interviews
100%.
ever.
100%.
Nah, that is hilarious. I do want to go to something else in that article. The Kanye point was amazing, but I wanted to talk about him buying his way out of Def Jam.
Yeah.
And I want to speak to how powerful that is because first off, having 7 figures to buy your way out of a deal.
24
Salute to
hours.
that as a black man.
24 hours. 24
day.
Salute to that
24
as a
hours,
black man.
7 figures in hand.
It was
No
a little
hesitation,
expensive.
though. I love
It was a
it.
little expensive, but I got it.
Yeah.
It was a little expensive.
I love the quote. It was like, it wasn't like rapper money. Like, it was like 200K at the
I had
club.
to dip into my,
Yeah, type shit. So salute to that. But I also want to salute to the conviction and the confidence it takes to pull a move like that, and also the confidence and the feeling almost that your art gives you. You want to push that onto the world.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know this
That's real
art
passion.
is so important to you.
Yeah.
This passion is so important to you. I will lose money to put this out.
Hell
Yeah.
yeah.
I will.
Yeah.
I will lose on the back end to put this out. It's like when Beyonce come off a tour and be like, "Damn, I could have made probably $15 million if I didn't have this big ass stage." Right. But this passion, this art is more important than my pockets at this time because it'll recoup itself on the back end because of how good this art is, because great art lives forever.
1000%.
And that just needs to be commended at how, you not gonna allow me this. I'm not conforming to you. Yeah, right. You don't have the power in this situation. And even if you think you have this power in this situation, I will move on to a situation where you no longer have anything from me. Yeah. And that is powerful. Right. Because now instead of Def Jam having Pusha T's catalog, getting a piece of that, Def Jam has nothing now. Right. They have that little figure check that, because in the grand scheme of the music business, that little 7-figure payout ain't shit.
Nothing.
So you got that one-time payment, and now you get nothing for Pusha T versus him going to Rock Nation and building a relationship and him generating hundreds of millions of dollars for them like he could have done for you. And it needs to be something to be said about understanding your value. That is what I was trying to find. Yeah. It is something about understanding the value and understanding how valuable your art is. This piece of work that you spent 2 years working on with your brother, it is valuable. I have the best producer ever on this album. I'm one of the best rappers ever. We're one of the best duos ever. And this piece of art is valuable. And you're not understanding what this valuable is. And what you also don't understand, guy, is I'm Picasso and I just got Da Vinci on my project. You don't understand that. You don't understand that this Kendrick verse that you're trying to do away with is going to shock the music industry. Now everybody knows it. But imagine that Kendrick verse would have came out and nobody known. And it came out on Def Jam. You know the benefit that they would have gotten from that? What they would have been able to market off of that? Yeah. Kendrick is doing deals with everybody right now. Yep. Kendrick is getting money from everybody right now. Yep. That could have been a piece of your pie as well, but you were too... You wanted to control so much. You wanted to bow down to the... Nope. You wanted to bow down to the guy so much that you ruined something. You ended up, you gained something now, but in the long run, you lost. And that is something that is important, and Pusha needs to be commended on.
And also, understanding, we talked about leverage with the NBA teams earlier, about an hour. Understanding your leverage as Pusha T. It's like, all right, Kendrick, first of all, I don't think Kendrick is charging Pusha T for a verse. Yeah, no. I don't think Pharrell's charging Pusha T for production. Yeah. On the back end, I could have made this album way cheaper, but y'all gonna tell me 7 figures to get out. I get 7 figures out. But the moment I tell GQ that this verse was so whatever, y'all wanted the album scrapped, right now, it comes out July 11th. That's a month away. We're gonna be talking about that Kendrick verse for 30 days before it come out. Yep. Now it is, especially in a year where niggas aren't releasing music, it's the most anticipated song in the last 5 months, maybe the whole year? Maybe the whole year now. So you took a situation where you didn't want something to come out to embarrass one of our artists. You just got him embarrassed. Because everybody knows now. And not only does everybody know, everybody knows how you did it, how you colluded to do it, how you've been doing it for years, and the verse is still going to come out. And now everybody needs it. The shock drop would have been crazy because, anytime Kendrick drop, it's like, oh, Kendrick drop is crazy. Yeah, everybody's moving. But now it's like, they wanted to stop him from dropping?
The fuck did he say on that bit?
Yeah. What did he say? Must have been crazy. And this is cherry on top. Them niggas sent it to Braun. Them niggas sent it to Braun.
To the billionaire?
They sent it to
the billionaire?
Listen, LeBron, chess over checkers. Mm-hmm. You and Drake got beef? Yeah. I'm posting the Kendrick lyrics on my story. Yeah. Yeah, and they'll come out till next month. I know who he talking to.
I love him.
I know who he talking to.
I love that LeBron. All right. Nelson, you want to add anything?
Yeah, I just want to know, I just think I love everything that's been said about commending Push and the fight that they're doing. What does it feel like if I don't know how much these niggas be online and see shit. I don't know how much people be online and seeing what they see or whatever. But if I'm Push and I'm scrolling and I see Aubrey's attorney on Twitter and they're just commending Drake on fighting the good fight against the labels, bro.
Oh yeah, cooked.
How does that make you feel?
I'm glad you said that. Because I completely spaced on that point.
Bro, it's The real fight was happening behind closed doors for months. Before this shit came out, no one knew a thing. And all of this narrative forming and shifting was going on, trying to make it seem like, oh yeah, no, he's making it better for other artists and all this shit. This fake ass shit for this fake ass boils me, bro.
No, that's
like
crazy.
That's the thing, bro. I remember. I'm not gonna say who I was arguing with because I ain't gonna say that nigga name on this platform. But I remember 2016. I was arguing with this nigga about Drake. I was like, bro, Drake is an idea. Drake is a concept. Drake is an amalgamation of all the industry things they use to sell music, create music, change the way the music is, literally to control all of that. Drake is not the stand-up guy. He is not the heartbreak guy. Drake is whatever this corporation needs me to be right now.
A chameleon.
And that statement of when Mos Def said he's Target music.
He's Target, bro.
Yeah.
He's corporate rap.
Yeah.
He's corporate, yes, bro.
It's profound now.
Yeah.
It is profound.
Shout out Mos Def.
That is so important that, like, yo, I get on this rant every time and I'm going to pause it because we're almost done and everybody exhausted. But, like, rap is a culture.
Yeah.
Rap is a bubble, bro.
Yeah.
And Drake has made it to where these fans that we always say don't love rap music, but love Drake, have infiltrated the people that love rap music, and they think they know what they're fucking talking about.
Yeah.
Y'all don't know what you're talking about. Because I know it's people watching this that are like, well, Drake did this, and Drake did that, and Drake did Versace for the Migos.
Yeah.
And Drake did What a Time to Be Alive with Future, and he helped him so much.
People think Drake put the Migos on.
And it's like, my nigga,
that shit used to get me up on my seat.
Why do you think that Drake, good gracious, my lips went crazy just then, but why do you think that Drake did not benefit from jumping to Atlanta?
Yeah.
In 2012 and 13, when Atlanta was the biggest rap scene in the world, why do you think Drake also didn't benefit from working with the Migos? Drake also didn't benefit from working with Future and Young Thug, et cetera, et cetera.
21.
We act like this is a one-way relationship, and you know who does that? Corporate. You know who acts like they have all of the answers and the little guys don't matter? Corporate. And the C-level management and corporate. That is where that comes from. That's where that mentality comes from. That's where all of this comes from. It's why the movie industry is having a problem now, because the execs think they're smarter than the creators.
Yep. Shout out Tom
That's
Cruise.
exactly why we're having a problem now. And hell yeah, shout out to Tom Cruise. Fighting a good fight. But I'm done. But this rap shit means something, bro. This rap shit is something. It is a culture. And Drake is trying to change what that culture is. And Kendrick, Pusha, and et cetera is not having. They not having. And I love it, and they deserve that good fight. And again, I'll end with this. Always shout out the Hov, man. Shout out the Hov.
That's my thing. Listen, I really wanted to touch on the Hov thing because on the Hov side of them getting the new deal at Rock Nation, basically they hit Hov, and Hov was like, "I love it. What do we have to do to get this done?" Which is a amazing sentence to hear from your billionaire friend. Like,
Yeah, bro.
like for all we know, he might have. Like, I don't want to say anything about him paying way taxes, but for all we know,
You just did, nigga.
yeah.
You did it. You did it already.
For all we know, he might have gave Pusha the 7. Like,
I didn't want to say it. I didn't want to say it.
Like real shit, he might have just gave Pusha the 7 figures. Like on some fucking shit.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
because if you a lot of places, if you buy out their contract, them niggas are paying for it.
Yep.
So we don't know if Rock Nation even did that.
Gave him 70% or something.
Yeah,
You never
literally.
know.
But shout out to Hov, and you mentioned like knowing your worth, and it made me think of this clip from the Boondocks. I don't know if anybody, of course, everyone should know this episode, but when Huey wrote the Christmas play, so what we doing more important than money, bro? What we doing more important than money? That's 7 figures, bro.
Thank you.
Don't matter, bro.
And that be the Oh, I'm so glad you brought that to the point. I know I said I was done. One more thing. I'm so tired of the internet getting on him and being like, but he gave him millions. He put millions in his pocket.
Yeah.
My nigga, everything isn't about money.
Literally.
Some shit is just about principle.
Yeah.
And y'all niggas cannot get that through y'all thick ass fucking skulls.
Niggas don't stand for
Everything is not about how much money Drake provided to these niggas or the look that Drake provided to these niggas. Some of this shit is just the principle, and he just do fucked up shit that real niggas don't do. And when real niggas look at the nigga and be like, that's a fake ass nigga, that's a corporate ass rap nigga, we had a right to point that out. And y'all gotta stop bitching because that's the fact. That's just what what it is. We all love Drake. I'm gonna cut on 4 p.m. in Calabasas right after this pod, nigga. I don't give a fuck. I listened to Nothing Was the Same last week, nigga.
Yeah.
I love Drake, but I know who Drake is.
Literally.
And that's okay.
1,000%.
You know what it is? People associate money and value as the end all be all.
Thank you.
Money is a form of value.
Yes.
But there is so much value
Money does
beyond
not determine
money.
your value.
It is not the only form of value.
Let's go ask Drake right now. Ask Drake right now how does he feel. Would he rather give away 50 M's and fix last summer or still keep where he is right now?
He'll probably lie, but we'll know what his art is.
1,000%.
Where would the game be without Hove?
Come on, man.
I think it's very concerning.
That's a Patreon topic. It's a Patreon topic because that's
no one is giving more. No one is giving more than any genre than Hove.
No one
Ever.
determines. I mean, no one deserves the father. No one deserves the title of Godfather more than Hov.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like,
the Godfather of rap, truly.
That nigga
truly.
is hip hop.
that is definitely a Patreon conversation because, especially in terms of music, hip hop was in its infancy when Hove became Hove.
Yep.
So Hove was one of the first super duper stars.
Yep.
Yes.
It was
And
20 years in, essentially.
Yeah.
Yes.
Just baby shit.
Yeah.
Yes.
Wow.
So,
Bless.
lastly, I just want to give a shout out to Leon Thomas, bro.
Oh,
The
deluxe.
Deluxe
I
heel.
was spinning that shit on the park of my car here
Boy,
downstairs.
he is. I've done listen to that shit like 10 times already, bro.
This shit is
Leon
dumb.
Thomas is on a run right
Shout
now,
out Leon
boy.
Thomas.
I hope
He's
he can
nuts.
keep this up and really putting a statement in what male R&B is supposed to sound like,
He is
bro.
nuts.
I always want to give shout out to my the second Disney crush I had. Raven Simone was the first. Miley Cyrus, phenomenal album again. Y'all know what she do.
Yeah.
It's an amazing pop album. I honestly like Endless Summer Vacation more.
Me too.
But
this is
this
good.
album is very good, and I think it's gonna grow on me. It's just, you know, when you be wanting something and you don't get it. So
Yes.
I was
You had an
expecting
expectation.
yes,
Yes.
I had an
Yes.
expectation. I had a sound in my head. It wasn't there, so I have to let this grow on me. But it's very theatrical. It sounds great though.
That's one of the best lists. Like, it's not what I want, but it's so good.
That was me when I heard Morale. Literally, when Morale dropped, I was like, this isn't exactly what I was asking for. And then, I'm like, nah, but this shit is what I need.
Right.
Yeah.
It was what I needed.
But Miley album, how'd you feel?
No, I
And
think,
Leon.
I think the Leon shit is dumb.
Dumb.
We were having a conversation in the group chat about how, like, you know, it's been dry for music to an extent, and I haven't been listening to as much shit. Listen, that Leon shit is gonna get run to the fucking ground.
Yes, it is.
To the
Yes,
fucking
it
ground.
is.
It give you that feeling that, like, just true peak R&B give you that we don't get that
Yes.
often. Where it's like,
Make you feel.
Yeah, literally, I want to get up and do some fucking dishes or something,
Yeah.
nigga. Like, I just feel good, nigga.
Yeah.
I just want to
Yeah.
drive for no fucking reason
Yeah.
right now.
Yeah.
Like, that's literally what that shit is. Miley to the same thing. I think it was a great vocal performance.
Amazing vocal performance.
Yeah, like, you're not going to get the typical pop sound that you were expecting, but she put her soul on that shit
For sure.
And, yeah,
That's fire.
love it.
And Survivor's Guilt, a single that dropped for G Herbo and Meek Mill, incredible song. Meek has been on a little run lately. I'm expecting a lot from him.
I'm rooting for Meek.
I'm really
rooting for Meek.
Listen, I'd love to ask Meek Mill if he tried to release a song back when him and Drake were in a beef. I would love to see if anyone has asked Meek Mill, did he have a song before Warpaint? And this is what we're going to close with, because everyone was alive during this beef, and everyone's critique of Meek Mill was Warpaint was fire, it took too long to come out.
Mm-hmm. Why is that?
Why is that?
If the only dub this nigga took was by coercion, man, fuck this nigga, dog. Like, it's just...
That shit crazy.
Come on,
That's,
bro.
that's
shit
the
crazy.
thing. Like, is that a thing?
Oh, my God.
Because it lines up. It adds up.
Nowadays, niggas used to line up and shoot the fair one, bro.
Yeah.
That shit. Now niggas just pull up with a tool and you can't even
shoot
fight.
the fair one.
You can't even fight.
Hov had an entire record label and let Nas say whatever he wanted about it.
Come on, bro.
Shit crazy, man.
Come
Shit
on,
crazy.
bro.
This has been an amazing episode. We'll get more into music next week. Y'all know I'm coming with that Bias Carter 6 review next week. I wish Pusha T album was coming out Thursday too. I'm so excited for that motherfucker.
It's gonna be a long month, bro.
Yeah, it is.
It's gonna be a
But
long fucking month.
Pusha T come out the same day I see Beyonce, so that's gonna be a weird day of playlisting.
It's gonna be an intense ride to the concert. Depending on what's on that Kendrick verse, it might be real tense.
But in the world full of hate, let your light be love. In the industry full of haters, we are some one-on-ones. This is Ish. I am Rock. That is Nelson. We are the greatest podcast in the world. Please like, subscribe, and comments. This is the show.